Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Good. That's all. Whoopee today. I really need a haircut. This whole dealing with my car that's damaged and cold weather has really gotten to me this winter. I don't like the winter. I'm very much a summer person. But, right, maybe it looks less bad if I put my headphones on and cover it up. I'll see a good headphone poof in the front. Aw, yeah. There we go. I really need to get a haircut. Maybe sometime this week if I can find time. Had so much map scripting I need to do for the Brazil event that now that we're in the DLC, I finally can do. Also, the DLC is being released today. I activated the code for it. I totally have not paid attention to it at all. But it is out, it would look like. Alright, so waiting for the drafts for this one. Waiting for the drafts. So how's everyone doing? This is Group C. Group C. DLC is live. It will be live in 50 minutes. Although there was an update released, so it might actually be live already. These games will be Rex. They will be on the, I'll say, old patch. The DLC patch we can maybe take a look at after the games are finished. I'll show you the subtle ways in which they broke Boar. Boars might randomly be bugged now. It's the type of thing, it shouldn't affect TTL, but I'm upset that they have a breaking change to Boar behavior. I mean, they're boars. They've been right since 99. Let's see, Twitch will do its ad thing. I'll just wait for game details in Discord. This will be casted as Rex. It will be Rex, so beware of that. Oh, Capture Age, no, don't you update on me. Don't you update on me. I need to cast these previous live Rex. Maybe they fixed the crashes. Maybe. One can dream. Do boars fly now? No, they do not, but they can be trapped in forests more easily. I'll show you what happens. When we're done, I'll go into the game and I'll show you what things look like, and then I'll swap patches, and I'll show you how they changed. Also, thank you, Cracked Ship, for the follow, and Jagoki earlier for the follow. Is that Jagoki or Jagokil? Eyes versus Ella. I still can't tell the difference in the OBS font. One day I'll need to make my own OBS doc for the stuff. I'll have to experiment with the API and write my own stuff. Shouldn't be too hard, but just another thing I need to do. Lots of things I need to do that'll each take like 5 minutes, but the list is long enough to take a long time. Long list. Map scripting for Brazil takes priority. No Zombie, hello. No Zombie, how are you doing? Good morning. How are you doing on this? I guess good evening to you, No Zombie. Good evening to you. How are you doing on this fine evening? Yeah, JBR is taking care of docs. Good, good, good. Let's see, maybe I should pull up T90's stream. Doing well. Couldn't sleep, so watching some 4 a.m. AoE. I know the feeling. That's what I do at 4 a.m. when I can't sleep. The best for me are the slam streams. Slam streams, oh, they're the perfect can't sleep content. Yeah, T90's taking his break. There we go. I'll type my own link into the chat so I can grab the Wikipedia page. And we can check out some standings, I guess. Check out some standings. Let's see, what do we have here? Group C. We're almost finished with this group. But Husiel in the driver's seat right now. 9 wins, 3 set wins. He's lost only to Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut now in second place with 8 wins. So Husiel controls his own destiny. He sweeps monos and he goes straight to platinum. Cosmonaut, with a sweep, holds the tiebreaker over Gabby. In set wins then, but also head-to-head, he did win 2-1 over Gabby. And Gabby also did lose 2-1 against Husiel. So tiebreaker situation looks rough for her. But she did beat monos. So as long as she wins the set, she's confirmed to be in the playoffs. And Lamo is at the bottom of the group, 1-11 so far. She would like to get a sweep and give herself 10 wins. But Husiel needs only 1 win to be then... Or no, to give herself 11 wins. Yeah, so Husiel actually with 2 wins guarantees he is ahead of Gabby. This is on the new DLC? Nope, this is not on the new DLC. Yeah, Gabby does... no. Actually, Gabby, 1 win gives her 9. Monos, if he gets a sweep over Husiel, would then have 9 points. But 1 win for Gabby is a set loss, so she's 2-3. Whereas a sweep for monos makes him 3-2 in sets, and sets are used as the tiebreaker before head-to-head. So it's total games won, then sets won, then head-to-head. So 2 wins, a set win makes her safe for the playoffs. Yeah, and as I said, Lamo 1-11 so far. I'm sure Gabby would really want to get a sweep here. Unfortunately, she did have those 2-1 losses. That bypass game against Husiel with the Turks is probably the one where I feel it was a really close game for her. That kind of slipped out of control. It should be public now. It goes public in about 40 minutes. But these games were played already. They were played as Rex. So the next round of TTL will be using the DLC. This is the final round of Silver. So they're just finishing up this round on the previous patch. Yeah, because this round kind of was played partially before, and then I don't know if all the games have been played yet. Maybe some of them will be live later. But the round itself was split by the patch release date. So this round is being finished up on the old patch. And then the playoffs will be on the new patch. Platinum this week, so it's the games that'll be broadcast starting on Friday, they will be on the new patch. So Platinum will be all on the new patch. Gold, I think, is the same situation as Silver, where I think they might finish a round on this patch and then continue future rounds on the new patch. So I think the rest of round 4 is probably the old patch. Yep, new civs will be available. New civs will be available. Yes. But Cosmonaut Thunderbolt will be first. Oh, wait, we're not doing Gabby Lammo first? We're doing Cosmonaut Thunderbolt first? Oh, is the schedule a lie? Oh, wait, what is the schedule? Alright, I guess we're doing Cosmonaut Thunderbolt. Schedule lied to me. Lies and blasphemy, yeah. Is Gabby getting the end of the day treatment? Like Viper gets? Oh, I have drafts for them. But I need to update all my titles. So... Dr. Kozmonot versus... why did this not update? Hello? Why is Lammo's name there? But wait a minute, what is going wrong with my code? Hello? Alright, time for Twest to debug why his overlay's not updating. What about this overlay? That's still Lamo. Oh, wait, I know what I did. Silly Twest. I typed a player in the Civ box. Never mind, my code is fine. I'm just broken. I need to give myself a better UI. There we go. I think I'm going to put player flags on this overlay too. Did I get access to the new update? And apart from stacking of unique unit discount, any other bugs? Stacking of unique unit discount? I have had access to the update, and yeah, I found a bug that they changed the behavior of Boar. And that it's probably a good thing in the long run, but the fact that it's not announced in a breaking change might break some maps. Alright, we have the Rex. We have the Rex. And a Boar behavior change. It's a very subtle change, but they used to have a 1x1, like a 9-tile box centered at them, where they couldn't have adjacent objects. Now they don't. So if you have wood lines that have, or golds that have like a 1-tile gap inside of them, Boar now may be able to spawn inside in some spots. So game 1 will be on Valley. And let me just tab around. So it'll be Aztecs against Japanese on Valley. Cosmonaut there. I think we're all set up. So 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it. So yeah, this is something that'll happen on Valley. Right now, the Boar cannot spawn directly adjacent to the gold when the map starts. It will be able to in the new patch. I'm not going to go through every single map and fix that because I don't think it's worth it. But it can definitely be... It's definitely an unexpected change. And breaking changes are always annoying. Slam streams are very meditative. That is custom for me. That is custom for me. I change the map. I have a CSV file with the map name and the author, and it puts it there. And that way I don't need to have the TTL5 prefix in front of it all the time. I don't even know what some of those emotes are, but hello, 11. What is that thing? It looks like a Shelob you got there. A warrior bug? Guess I was right about Shelob. Anyway, the map is Valley. Will players go to the middle? I'm pretty sure they won't. Hello, Grossmeister 2400. Thank you for the follow. And Cosmonaut Thunderbolt. As we looked at the standings earlier, Cosmonaut did beat HuCL. HuCL has 9 points, Cosmonaut 8, and Gabby 8. Cosmonaut and HuCL both beat Gabby. UT Red X even in your capture age after the update? What do you mean UT Red X? UT, the unique text. Oh! Ah! What the heck? I knew it was a bad thing that capture age updated. Lovely. Right. Let me go post this in the capture age Discord. If only there were auto updates and ways to disable stuff. Ah, the capture age. Alright, I posted a bug report. And we do have players going to the middle. The bug report distracting me from the fact players are in the middle. Vils from ThunderboltX. ThunderboltX, the tech tree preview is themed after his name, with the red X's. He will lose his scalp, but fight the drush off with the villagers. Aztecs and Japanese, are these two civs for drushing the middle aggressively? There is Loom for Thunderbolt. He didn't have Loom. Thankfully, he didn't lose a Vil. And now the militia and the eagle will hoover around. Militia attacking the villager. Hello, Peppa Cakes. How you doing? So the Vils going down, trying to fight the militia. Militia goes down. Another Vil will be blocked and killed by the eagle. He's close. He's atop the hill trying to fight the eagle. He'll help get a couple of hits on the eagle, but with no scout to pick the eagle off. The eagle will survive. And the drush, so far, so good. 2 Vil kills from Cosmonaut. Aztecs drushing. I've missed this as Cosmonaut's in the middle, too. The Japanese, their infantry starts attacking faster in the feudal age. So in the Dark Age, Aztecs should have a nice advantage for the drushing. The Japanese can mill the middle. Now, you think Dr. Agenstar did something similar with Aztecs? Well, Dr. Agenstar and Dr. Kozmonot are colleagues. They may have exchanged notes on their build orders. They may practice together. From the Star family. So 5 militia from the Aztecs. What year is this? Is this 2015? Feels like 2015 with this strategy. Militia will attack the mill. He had some more earlier, too. He's up to 5 now. And now he has full middle access. The shorefish, the chickens, the hares. Finally, someone doing it. This does seem like a lot of militias. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The map is pretty open. Pretty darn open here. For Thunderbolts. But he's going to try to sneak to another part of the middle. Avoid the militia, repair on his berries. I need another mill out here, but he's the Japanese. They have cheap mills. With 9 Vils, oh my gosh, could we have a huge Vil fight? That's 15 Vils in the middle for Cosmonaut. That's 15 Vils. Will he see this? Oh, they're right in a patch of unscattered area. He doesn't see it yet. Militias will pull back from attacking the mill. And instead, we'll have a house for Thunderbolt, making sure he can unhouse himself. He's down by 5 pop in the Dark Age, and being housed does not help. Cosmonaut, though, he's been housed for a minute 10. Or idled the TC for a minute 10, at least. Vil is shooting the deer. And here we'll have Feudal Age for Cosmonaut. Feudal Age also for Thunderbolts, as 5 farms get placed around the TC. And militias will attack the house. As the wood line is going to be walled. Fully walled wood line for Thunderbolt. A similar vill count and clicked up. So at least the vill counts are similar. It's only been 2 vill kills despite all the pressure. And now, once Feudal comes in, the Japanese militia and men-at-arms will attack faster. And this is the type of game I was expecting to see on Valley. This is what I was expecting. Not all those stay-at-home wall and boom games. 2 woodlines spawn together also for Cosmonaut. So both players are up to the Feudal Age, Cosmonaut and Thunderbolt. Oh my gosh, 8 militia. Man-at-arms clicked immediately for both, and there will be an archery range from both players as they'll try to add archers to deal with the large number of swordsmen. The Aztecs won't be going eagles here against swordsmen, just pumping their own men-at-arms. And now faster attacking Japanese men-at-arms. I'll see where Thunderbolt tries to run, if he's just going to use these as runners. Maybe he could try to fight on a hill. He is outnumbered, but he does attack faster. The men-at-arms from Cosmonaut have been split up quite a bit. And oh, actually it's Cosmonaut who gets the hill advantage. And nice house! Nice house to block the... Or mill, rather. Mill. 2x2 structure. To block the men-at-arms. Archery range for Cosmonaut. And an archer killed by a skirm. As Thunderbolt keeps moving up in the middle, trying to take more chickens, more hares. Oh my gosh, it's finally they're playing Valley the way I was hoping for. I wonder if players are ever going to realize that the hunt is valuable. Scale mail armor for Cosmonaut. There's a bear down there. Hello, bear. How'd you get down there? It's a tiger over there, too. I guess there are some predators down here. I never thought about that. I know someone said they didn't like the predators on the map. I kept them super far away from players. Oh, that'll die. Meanwhile, the men-at-arms, now with a couple of skirms trying to break through the houses by Cosmonaut's base. They will get through. Japanese men-at-arms, no arson, but they still get through. We'll have to try to guess what the capture age techs are, as they have big red X's. And Thunderbolt will run slightly into the TC. Pull back. Men-at-arms numbers 5 to 10. As the tower went up in the middle for Thunderbolt to try to defend against the men-at-arms, but he will have to ungarrison and fight with vills against the archers and the skirms that are all stacked atop each other. And men-at-arms attacking skirms, leaving a pile of corpses by the lumber camp, and there's a GG from Thunderbolt. As Cosmonaut will win game number 1. Check out some stats here. Military, 23 to 11 KD for Cosmonaut, and both players going for the middle, but the early Aztecs drush pays off. Valley was 13 minutes, not an hour 45 minutes. 31 men-at-arms. What was that again? 17 to 14, GG. No zombie enjoying it in the YouTube chat. Alright. Let me check my Twitch stats. Oh, where's my ping? That's our base pinging about the previous live. I need to make sure that I am staying in sync with T90, and he's looking at the end of the game. He yaps a bit, so let me just do a quick Twitch ad. Then we'll think about the next game. Right. So Valley won by Cosmonaut. That is bad for Gabby. He doesn't want to see Cosmonaut get wins when she's tied with him right now. So that puts him at 9 wins. And that was a win for the Aztecs and a loss for the Japanese. Aztecs strong, and that is because Cosmonaut and Dragonstar are both, they're in a clan together. They play on Black Sails, so I would imagine that they practice together quite a bit. I love that AoE 1 OST. Keep Cosmonaut again in blue. Yeah, I'm just keeping my eye on T90s yapping a bit between the games. So I guess Gabby's set will be the next set. See, everyone else is playing the DLC. Here I am, just hoping stuff doesn't break. Alright. So I think we've waited at least 2 minutes. We'll go into the next game. And we'll have Cosmonaut against Thunderbolt again, this time on slopes. So, Cosmonaut will be to the southwest. He'll be playing as the blue Chinese, Thunderbolt to the northeast, as the red Georgians. I haven't really seen these civs played on this map. The Chinese feel like they should be a good one. Maybe unfortunate for Cosmonaut that his gold is forward. And we'll try to push in the deer from the side patch between the hares and the shorefish. Immediately going for the push, same thing as Thunderbolt pushing the deer towards the TC. I'll have 4 relics roughly spread apart atop each of the slopes in the corners, and then 1 relic in the very middle. As I'll have a boar chasing the Vil there for Cosmonaut should get it safely to the TC, notably luring the boar before doing a lumber camp. Players like to do that these days. Bringing the boar nice and early. As a scout here from Cosmonaut will push in a deer, and we'll have a lumber camp up in the back on the wood line. I do kind of miss the days when boars were farther away behind wood lines, a bit more difficult to lure. Made the builds a lot more difficult to pull off, as we have the same thing here from Thunderbolt, early boar lore. Part of the contributing factor to those old 22 pop scouts when we get down to 18 pop these days. If Cosmonaut wins, he's automatically top 2. Yes, if he wins, he's top 2. He holds any type of tiebreaker he would possibly have against Gabby, and actually, no. Actually, Cosmonaut needs a sweep, and he guarantees... Actually, no, even with the sweep, 3-0, he entered the set even though he had beaten Huciel and Gabby. Huciel actually had 1 more point, so if Huciel gets a sweep against Monos, then he's first no matter what. Huciel controls his own destiny. And Cosmonaut also does need a sweep to guarantee that he would then hold any type of tiebreaker against Gabby, who is tied with him in points, but lost the set against him. Yeah, so every game actually is important here for Cosmonaut. In controlling the tiebreaker situations. And he's probably thinking Gabby will sweep since she's against Lammo. Yep, and Lammo has won only a single game. He's 1-11. And probably, well, based on the standings, looks to be the weakest player in the group. So Gabby, in all likelihood, is hoping for a sweep. What can you do as Georgians against the Chinese? You're the same matchup 2 hours ago. That's a good question, but the Chinese, I think the power of the Chinese is always in their economy. And the fact that they're going to try to pull like 1,000 resources ahead of you as you go from feudal to castle. I don't really have a good read on them these days. In the past, I would say they're a really good early to mid-game civ that can fall off in unit composition in the late game, but now that they have Fire Lancers and heavy rocket carts, I don't think that's true as much. They lack camels, which can very situationally be worse for them than the Fire Lancers. Say if you're a team game pocket, I think lacking the camels hurts you. Maybe specific maps, perhaps African clearing, not having camels hurts you. But overall, I think that they're buffed since they were before, when they were already one of the best civs. The Georgians have an incredible late game if they can get fortified churches everywhere. And have them boosting their eco. Now, that's always one way to play Georgians, try to hold for the super late game. Kind of like we saw in that Seychelles game the other day. Where it was a 2-hour plus game, but the Georgian churches and defenses held on. There's a stable opening from Thunderbolt, so fairly standard stable opening from him. And we'll see if Cosmonaut, he's not on gold yet, might just go for a stable himself. On this map in particular, I think it's important to be able to take the hunt without being pushed off of it and without losing vills. So Thunderbolt will see it's a stable for both. And at least on this map, one of the difficulties is in figuring out where to put your spears. You want spears atop the slope to protect your vills, but then you also need to protect everything in your main base. And with the water here, it is rather hard to wall in the vills. So this is a situation where I feel the super late game matchup still favors the Georgians. And it might be a situation where you're just trying to hold on until you get to fortified churches. And get to the point where you have an eco bonus, and the Chinese don't. So there is a nice Vil pick from Cosmonaut. And you can see that food difference, or that res collected difference already. He's not even on the hunt, and he's taking a lead. But maybe some revenge from Thunderbolt, picking off the villager here. Why did he not fight? He was trying to get to the TC. And, ooh, losing a spear to the TC fire. That is not good. Alright, Vil goes down to a scout, and another scout is killed. It's always a tricky decision. Do you fight with the Vil and get HP off of the scouts, or do you try to run? Tricky, like figuring out what composition to do Georgians versus Chinese. Maybe this is a Georgian Cav Archer play in the Castle Age. I'm not entirely sure what to do against Fire Lancers, because I don't feel like Cav Archers are a great play against them either. If you can pull off the clean Dark Age with the Chinese, then you put yourself ahead. Part of what you're trying to do in the Feudal Age is not fall too far behind in the res collected difference. Hello, Mass Puddles. And Cannoneers? HC? Again, that's super late game, though, and very composition dependent. Could help against the Fire Lancers, for sure. But then the Chinese do also have good towers, or good bombard towers. So that didn't change, right? These X's here. Missing string, technology, resource cost free. One of those is supposed to be Great Wall. that gives extra HP to the towers that they build and to their walls. So you could play them kind of like the Koreans. I don't think that's anywhere nearly as good as the +2 range that the Koreans have. And fast-moving Fire Lancer is probably not as impactful as the Korean discount. But late-game Tower plus Fire Lancer is certainly a composition they could do. They just won't have the Bombard Cannon. You need to be a bit slower with Tribs. So Scout picks off a build from Thunderbolt there. 3-2 KD for Cosmonaut. Having these little areas where Scouts can run in and pick vills is very useful. A Blacksmith and an Archery range for Thunderbolt. What's my elo? I haven't really played 1v1s in a long time. Last I played ours around 1900. No idea what I'd be if I were to sit down, practice, and like really grind out 1v1s for a couple of months. Based on other people I play with, I think getting to 2k1 is probably pretty realistic. I'm not sure if I'd really be able to climb much above that without a lot of work. Who knows, maybe one day I'll sit down and grind out games again. I've had so much admin and map scripting work through tournaments that I haven't really had time for that. Maybe with the map pool, though, with the DLC coming out. Weirdly enough, I'm really good at water maps because years ago, I played a lot with Tato on the HD edition, and we played a team game tournament on Voobly. And our home maps, we picked Island and Migration, or Islands and Migration, and Tato taught us how to play water maps. So between that and Arena, I saw in the upcoming map pool I could use the bands and play Arena, Hideout, Islands, Migration. So there's a chance I could maybe do the good old Ban Arabia, play the weird maps, and climb elo from playing the non-standard maps trick. I've been thinking about doing that. I've seen some people TCing the pawns instead of milling them. Maybe that's a better timing. It's much safer to get a TC up here in the Feudal Age. What we've seen here, these little scouts keep running around, and they're annoying. They're annoying. Spears can't really defend the middle of your base and the pawns when the scouts give you mobility. We've seen a couple of Vil picks over here, a couple of Vil fights over here. And is that every little hole in Thunderbolt space, Cosmonaut has found openings. Archery range there for Thunderbolt. So Fletching and Castle Age on the way. So it looks like it will indeed be Georgian Cav Archers. So if you're asking what composition do you go in this matchup, Thunderbolt thinking Cav Archers are the play. I think that Scouts opening into double ranges makes sense. He'll probably open Bodkin Crossbow, and then go Cav Archers. And one of the nice things about the Georgians going Cav Archers is because they can do the fortified churches, they can fall behind in Vils, but not fall behind in Eco because all of their Vils are more efficient. So instead of investing into TCs right away, they do have a bit of room to do a church plus university and ballistics. Honestly, a church over here, maybe move the Vils to this wood line and have the church buff farms, gold, and wood. That could be nice. Like, this wood line's running out, so a couple Vils over here could be nice. And, oh, looks like that's exactly what Thunderbolt is thinking. And once that's up, he can move this wood line over here. Maybe do one more house or wall in front. And, oh, or could run from this wood line, too, as the crossbows from Cosmonaut have a great timing. And Thunderbolt has not noticed. He's been trying to row at the same time he was raiding the other wood line. Both of them hitting wood lines. So both of them aggressively attacking with the crossbows and not noticing that they were losing Vils. So that's now 9-5 KD, though, in favor of Cosmonaut, and he's gotten a few crossbows in defense at home. Our two churches... Nope, they don't double buff if they overlap. They don't double buff. Otherwise, you'd make, like, a farm, a mill, and then surround them all with churches. And have the fastest farm ever. That'd be sick, but it doesn't work like that. And, yep, crossbows in his base, but the church gives him a great defense. Here, Cosmonaut has to react with crossbows and actively defend his base. Thunderbolts can just do the church, and he's safe. Has to be careful of the spear that gets picked off. And the crossbows will miss that Vil. She has to run back to the TC. And there's another TC from Thunderbolt. Alright, so here, this is what I was talking about earlier. The Chinese. That's around 800 resources collected, where Cosmonaut is ahead. TC in the back from Thunderbolt, and the crossbows will keep wandering around. Alright, and now hill advantage for Thunderbolt. Ballistics on the way for Cosmonaut. I'll try to pick off those crossbows. And here, again, Thunderbolt has that hole in his wall. He hasn't been able to patch it up. Now might be a good time to try to patch that up. He sees where the two groups of crossbows are, as much as he's losing his army. And it's a lot to think about, but if he has that in the back of his mind, he knows, hey, wait a minute, Cosmonaut's army? Not by that hole anymore. I can go patch it up. And now he's equal in Vil count, and while he's behind in res collected, right now he has the better eco. 2 TCs, 2 churches. And as long as he can take out some of the crossbows, he'll be okay. It's a 21-to-1 military difference, though. That is a big difference, as we have a siege workshop up for Thunderbolt. Bill's heading out to the shorefish in the back. And crossbows hit the farm. So front of the base, controlled by Cosmonaut. That'll idle some farming eco. But there's lots of space in the back, and lots of space that'll be buffed now from the churches. And Mangonel, Cosmonaut not paying attention. He's trying to micro and break in, killing a Vil on the other side, takes a Mangonel shot square to the crossbows. Loses a few of them, and the rest are weak. And now a TC on the hill for Thunderbolt. Crossbows, they're weak, but they still could deny that. There's only 5 Vils there. 90%. Will this go up? This will be close. 96, 98, 99, and 2 Vils. 2 Vils get the TC and kill a couple of crossbows on their way out. Getting revenge for their fallen villagers. Their fallen villager friends. TC for Cosmonaut. Oh, and a Mangonel on the other side. Cosmonaut pays attention here. Thunderbolt still defending. Vil counts equal. 4th TC here for Cosmonaut. So I've gotten into the boom stage, and the hare is killed by crossbows. Hare is killed by crossbows. Hello, Lego Fogel. How you doing? Am I too late for Gabby? You are not too late. Wait, oh, you reminded me. They swapped the order of the sets, and I forgot to swap the order in my YouTube title. Let me change that around. Thank you for reminding me. 2 titles I need to change. There we are. You are not too late for Gabby. She'll be coming up next. I think people wised up to the, or maybe T90's admins wised up to the fact that Gabby's set will be the most popular, so they put it at the end of the day. And Yunel hits the crossbows as they have to run away. And crossbows will dance back and forth. And, ooh, hit by the mangonel. And there we go. Now it's time for the Georgian Cav Archers. So Thunderbolt pulled back, boomed for a while. Kept the res collected at basically the same level. And now he'll look to push out with Cav Archers, needs a few more houses. Mangonel coming down off the hill. We'll have Town Watch on the way for Cosmonaut, the better to see Thunderbolt with. Oh yeah, look at that vision. Look at that vision expanding. Boom, he's also picking up relics. Cav Archers will pop out of the ranges and try to pick off the small group of crossbows. Mangonel will get another good hit on some more crossbows. And Thunderbolt was down in military 21-1 earlier, but with the churches, no problem for him. He can hold. Georgians are a great defensive civ. And push out with some Cav Archers. Take out crossbows in a good fight. And oh ho ho, he's thinking of a castle in the middle of the map. He's thinking of a castle. Send in all the vills. 12 villagers. What are the odds? What are the odds he grabs 11 female vills and 1 male vill there? To build that castle.
Get you ours.
Bloodlines for Thunderbolt. There's a castle as a monk goes by the vills. Was mining stone by the mule cart. Monk killed by the castle. And now this push is going to get in Chinese Cav Archers. Both saves going Cav Archers. But Imp is on the way first for Thunderbolts. Imp is on the way first. Cosmonaut ahead in Vills that he went for the extra TC. So 4 TCs versus 3. That's going to lead to a faster Imp timing for Thunderbolt. So fewer Vills but faster Imp. He'll get his 4th TC on the way up. Has to worry about those crossbows idling his eco. Might be able to pick off some stray units with Cav Archers, and he actually will grab 3 relics. With that castle, grabbing the middle relic. Grabbing some map control. 3 relics for him, and Imp on the way now for Cosmonaut. Cav Archers pick off a stray crossbow. And Cav Archers have to come out here and make sure that this TC is safe. And it'll be University. I was saying the Georgians could do an early ballistics, but it wasn't the case here for Thunderbolt. Hasn't really needed it, though. We'll need it in the long run with Cav Archers, though. And he really doesn't want to fight ballistics versus not realizing, nope, I cannot win a Treb fight this far from Imp. So neither of these civs have bombard cannon, which does make me think that rocket carts into heavy rocket carts could be useful for the Chinese, maybe prohibitively expensive, and they still don't have siege engineers. But with rocketry, they would attack faster. Range is up for Cosmonaut. $25 Cav Archers versus 15. And that castle should go up, but a couple vills will be lost in the process. And chemistry on the way for Thunderbolt. Georgians win if they get to spawn towers, but it doesn't look like Thunderbolt will play to that. Yeah, you know, spawn towers is interesting too, right? We could have Great Wall towers versus spawn towers. Both of these civs with late game tower bonuses. Can that Treb hit the TC? Oh, it can. Nice. Mangonels taken out immediately by the Cav Archers. Dodging, killing the Mangonels. Cav Archers hit the Treb, and that Treb, will it go down before destroying the TC? Yeah, that's enough HCA. TC will stand. A few Vills repair it. We'll lose a bit of HP, but nothing too bad. There'll be a castle in the north for Thunderbolt. And, oh, well, the Vills trying to run through the hole that they're walling. That will be a nice pickoff from Cosmonaut and the heavy Cav Archers. All of a sudden, that's another 10 Vills or so down. Look at those corpses. Nice corpse line in front of the stable. And, oh, auto farms around the TC for Thunderbolt. No, Zombie's like, yep, ballistics is in there. Finally, ballistics for Thunderbolt. So heavy Cav Archers, the Georgian ones will heal, but they'll miss the final armor upgrade. Not sure what matters more. I'd probably think the armor upgrade. Also, no Parthian, though, for the Chinese. Georgians do have Parthian, but they don't have Thumb Ring. Not sure which Cav Archers are better. Both missing a couple of key things. And now Cosmonaut will push out against this castle, and we can see the effect of the Chinese eco and that 4th TC he added. This isn't really like a Civ bonus difference, it's more of a gameplay difference, that he invested into the 4th TC and didn't get punished for it, and Thunderbolt wasn't able to do enough damage with the faster imp. You want to have comments or thoughts on the pathfinding talk released recently on YouTube? I think it's nice to finally have an explanation about why pathfinding was so much worse on the HD edition. I always had that feeling that as much as people complained about pathfinding, that the complaints never were really taken seriously. And I think that the talk kind of gives kind of maybe a nod to that, as they finally are addressing the issue years after DE's release. The loss of the source history was very weird when they got the code. So, Treb's attacking the castle. And I do have to say, I feel like the pathfinding in DE right now is probably not the issue when people complain about pathing. You can kind of break it into different segments, right? There's pathfinding, but then there's also your ability for units to move along the path that they found. And unit movement is its own set of related but maybe distinct problems where DE has also had issues. As it looks like Thunderbolt will lose this castle on the hill. There was that archer regrouping patch a while ago where archers basically became unusable because they kind of zigzagged. You'd right-click them on one side and they'd reform, like, and step backwards before moving in that direction. Where that's not really a pathfinding issue, that's a movement issue. I think Survivalist had a video where he went back to the HD edition and showed how they behaved better there. Which I think they fixed that, but the unit movement is still probably the category I'd put the stand ground patrol issues in. I've experienced people knew all of it. I wasn't aware of the specifics of the compiler flags, or the convex hull calculations. The convex hull calculations being incorrect does kind of maybe lend itself to seeing why we had seen units taking right angle paths if they're walking around the edge of that hole incorrectly. And probably does explain some of the issues we were seeing where Vils would go to lower Boar and not walk in straight lines. If they were trying to walk around the edge of a hole instead of walking in a straight line. The only thing, I think the talk said that Scripter did, or that there was a community patch that addressed the pathfinding. I don't think that Scripter actually changed the pathfinding. There might have been some very small changes at the end of user patch 1.5, but all of his changes, for the most part, were to make the calculations more efficient, but give the same result. And I know he had a test suite of lots of recs from 1.0c that did not change, and he ensured that they did not change and just were more efficient. So it's not like there is this magical version where Scripter improved the pathfinding. It was a very good programmer realizing that changing the pathfinding would be tricky, and he didn't touch it. So the thing the community always called better pathfinding was exactly what we had in 1999. So Cosmonaut now, he's been ahead for a while now. He's just continuing the push. Thunderbolt wasn't able to push an early imp. And maybe the game would have been different if Thunderbolt had added a 4th TC and tried to boom a bit more with the Georgian Eco. But there's a GG. And the Cosmonaut will go up 2-0 in what is probably not the result Gabby wants to see. Right? She's competing against Cosmonaut. She's going to hope that Thunderbolt's able to pick up a win. Military, that's 178 to 119 KD for Cosmonaut. More res collected. And pretty close res collected. You can see on the graph where he started getting the boost from the 4th TC. And I think that's probably the key area of the graph, where he commits to Eco. Cosmonaut commits to the faster imp. But in that imp transition right there, so that's around 37 to 40. Never actually had a larger military than Cosmonaut. So from the early Chinese Eco, had the larger Eco, right? There's that 21 to 1 area we'd seen. Actually got worse. 24 to 1 military. 26 to 1 military. And Thunderbolt was able to come back, take some decent fights, but never was able to take a military lead. The boom for Cosmonaut was always safe enough that he had enough military to stop the early imp push. And after that, just kind of held on for victory. Alright, so like I said, T90 probably is going to yap a bit between the games, so I'll do an ad break, and then we'll do the next game. Try to stay in sync with him. Let's see, okay, he's between the games at least. So I guess the DLC is officially released now, so if anyone's purchased it, you should be able to update the game and get the DLC. Unlock it. Oh my gosh, T90's showing young T90 photos. Yeah, Cosmonaut's been playing well. Alright, so next game, let's get this checked off. So that's a loss on slopes, but as far as the civs are concerned, that's a win for the Chinese and a loss for the Georgians, both using the very first pick, and the final map will be a High Tides. Keep Cosmonaut in blue. Where are we at? Is T90 still yapping? Okay, now T90's in the game. We're good. Alright, so here we are. Cosmonaut will take a 2-0 lead into the final game. Exactly 12 minutes released in your time zone. Gonna check the Incas and settlements before you burn your money. Yeah, I mean, for all the DLCs, I would never recommend buying them on release, especially with how incredibly inflated the prices are. $20 for the DLC is absolutely ridiculous. I would definitely wait for it to go on sale at a later date. Even like the pre-order discount really isn't that much of a discount either. I'd probably wait for it to be like 50% or more discounted before picking it up. AB2 is expensive now with all the DLCs they have for it. So we'll have Cosmonaut to the west as the blue Lithuanians and Thunderbolt to the east as the red Huns. Huns are a great hybrid map save, but I haven't seen them played too much in TTL so far. Huns are Huns still. What if you need to buy DLC on release for the free ELO before they fix the civs? So no zombie. Here's what you do. You favorite the old civs before people learn how to play the new ones. And then you get the free ELO. And then you just, you hold off for a bit once they learn. You can play that. Yeah, I mean, the full game when it was released, I paid $15 because I owned the HD edition. You got a $5 discount. So it's pretty crazy how the DLC prices have changed. Yeah, people are going to be all experimenting, right? Well, all you got to keep your eye on the cheese that people try to do with the new civs, and then practice counters to it. And then before they kind of settle in and develop a meta, you can counter all the things that people attempt. You got the discount from having HD. So forward dock, early dock from the Lithuanians. That's what you expect. They start with that extra 100 food. So you do the lumber camp early. You go to wood super early. Make sure that you're getting a good early fishing ship. Supplement your food eco, luring in the elephant, and then keeping the TC running. Are fairly tame. Let's hope they're tame. I think hopefully people learn from the Three Kingdoms that people don't like stuff that is very weird. Well, we'll see how this goes. I think it's kind of hard to do a debacle as silly as Three Kingdoms with the hero units. Big brain, Mr. West over here. No, it's just I've seen DLC releases, right? I remember when the Burgundians came out, and people thought they were OP, but then they had a horrible win percentage for the first couple weeks. Maybe that'll be the case with the new civs, or maybe they'll be like Cumans, or African Kingdoms, Koreans, and Malians. You never know. I mean, maybe the answer to the DLC is force pick Koreans and go Fire Lancers. Every game. Grind up Elo. Pre-launch Cumans. Honestly, I think the Inca with like the Vil fighting Inca I think those were probably the strongest civ in the game. It took people a while to figure out just how strong the Vil fighting was, but I really don't think there was a counter to that. If you had a forward stone and couldn't do counter towers, I think you were just dead against Inca. There came a point where team game flanks were Inca Vil fights.
Timo.
So 20-second difference to feudal. Cosmonaut up a bit faster. That's probably what you expect from the Lithuanians with their smooth Dark Age and the early fishing ship. Also, 4 fishing ships to 3. Thunderbolt, he's deciding, you know what? I'm going to take the fish right in front of your dock and make this as inefficient for you as possible. And Cosmonaut then, maybe getting some revenge, going to fish the fish by Thunderbolt's dock. Saying, you're not, if I can't have fish, you can't either. And oh, okay, Vil for Thunderbolt, out in the open, tried to do a second dock, but Cosmonaut was ahead and had the scout in the right position. And Thunderbolt will try to Alcatraz wall the Vil. The scout will run around and block. Nice blocking for Cosmonaut, and that dock Vil will be killed. So no repair Vil, no second dock. And things are looking good for a Cosmonaut 3-0 sweep so far. There have been no military buildings adding for Thunderbolt, so it's not like you'll lose water but push with men-at-arms on land. He was trying to fight double dock fire galleys, but that will not be the case for him. 2 docks for Cosmonaut, who actually has 2 Vils out there. 1 walled in, and Thunderbolt will be late on his next dock. Always check secret powers from civs. No one expects the Bulgarian cav archers. That was another thing broken on release. Bulgarian creposts. I don't know how this happened, but you actually could garrison Vils inside the creposts, and it would be a drop site. They'd drop off their resources. Alright, so Thunderbolt running to the TC, turns at the last moment and dodges the volley of arrows. Vil will poke the scout. Fire sailing behind the dock. Oh, this would be a great 16 fish trap dock. Thunderbolt will use part of the dock for cover. And oh, he's surrounded on all sides. The dock blocking fire on all sides. That fire galley is not taking damage. Cosmonaut finally realizes. Now they're going down. Or fires, some repairs are needed. So the Thunderbolt has to run away. And, oh, 2 Vils. Oh, I was hoping the demo would get the Vils, but no, just goes for the fires. Decent demo. And the second dock is out for Thunderbolt, but he's on shorefish instead of deep fish. I think kind of rough for him to have the shorefish as the option. So a couple of scout cav wandering around still. Thunderbolt will try to hit the scout. Will he kill the scout there? I might finally get something good happening for him as he transitions to a range. Cosmonaut will see the range and lose his scout. Thunderbolt gets a nice kill. Archery range for him too on the other side. I'll have another range from Thunderbolt. As the Vils all head up to the gold pile. And demo does get a hit on 1 fire. Might have wanted to pull it back there and try to save it for later. So this will be one of the last games where we see demos. Maybe they'll be horrible in the new patch. And oh, demo, can you hit the Repairville? Get the Repairville, get the Ville. Ooh, gets a fishing ship. I still feel demo should go for Vills no matter what. Going for the fires. The Repairvilles are so valuable. Demoing them is great. Ooh, a bit of a lame. Thunderbolt has 2 goats in the corner. 2 goats in the corner. T90's chat would consistently ask, oh, what's that in the corner? What's that in the corner? It's the goats. I know how T90's chat works. They want him to look at the random stuff in the corner every game. Okay, demo for Cosmonaut. Nice split for Thunderbolts. Pull back. How many DLCs and stuff? See, the thing about DLCs, if you ask how many DLCs do you think there will come, how many civs do we need? I would love if DLCs didn't have to add civs every time, because I feel like there's a bunch of design space in AoE 2 itself. And when you start adding stuff like civs and hero units and extra special abilities, it feels like we're kind of drifting away from playing AoE 2. And we're kind of playing a Forgotten Empires game rather than the old AoE 2 we all know and love. And I think that's kind of sad, because I think there's a ton of design space with custom campaigns or new maps or AI improvements, stuff that you can do with the AoE 2 engine within the limits of what's already there. And when you break those limits and you start doing new things, you start drifting away. Is the Chronicles ones that added oysters? My favorite changes, legit, have been the ability to change the map size in the map scripting engine, the basic arithmetic expressions they've added for us in map scripting, and the oysters that have been added. The whales are pretty cool. We'll see if they're maybe overused. I know they added them to a lot of maps. Those aren't as marketable. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there who would love to have campaigns for the original civs, like a proper campaign for the Byzantines and the Chinese and the Vikings. And I think that's one of the things that was so disappointed about Victors and Vanquished, that a lot of people were looking for a campaign DLC, but the people most looking forward to that had probably already played those campaigns as custom campaigns. And instead of campaigns, they got a bunch of random individual scenarios. And I'm very saddened that that was not a proper campaign DLC. Well, I wouldn't compare any of the marketing for the Conquerors to the present day situation, but I think that definitely there was some type of Microsoft interference in Three Kingdoms, because it felt very much like there should have been 2 separate DLCs of Jurchen's Catans versus a Chronicles DLC with the Three Kingdoms. And they do that right, and it's probably even more profitable if they could have both of them at like a $15 DLC and a $10 DLC. You put them together as a like a bonus pack, where if you get them both, it's $20 instead of getting one or the other. And then you make a proper medieval Chinese DLC. You have more. You don't go as far out for the mechanics in that one, but you do more creative stuff in the Three Kingdoms one. So you're not going to have the hero units in ranked. But I think there were a lot of mistakes made with that. R6S? What is R6S? When it started adding too many operators. And there's Thunderbolt up to the Castle Age. And we have Elite Skirm, Town Watch, and Crossbow all added for Thunderbolt. Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, I've never played that. For a second, when you wrote the word operators and I talked about math expressions, I was a bit worried you were saying some programming language added too many operators to it. Like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Nah, we don't need bitwise operators. We don't need Boolean and or. Just give us basic math and we're good. Get to play new units. I mean, on the surface, that's nice, but then you get to see how Fire Lancers were every single game in Red Bull, and I think no one liked that. So it's a delicate balance to hit. So Crossbow's now getting in on the wood line, trying to pick off Vils. They get one, but then are forced away. So Thunderbolt has finally won the water. It has a good score lead from the water, but time after time we've seen on this map where players win the water but don't win the game. And the crossbows here from Cosmonaut are maybe a bit close to some elite skirms, but they have the numbers they can at least run away. There's no ballistics, so they should be able to run. Crossbow fight in the back, where Cosmonaut has both a hill and a numbers advantage, took a couple of losses chasing, though, walking off the hill. Thunderbolt can run to the hill. He might be able to camp here for a bit, now that he has the second armor, especially. So Micro there might not have been what he wanted, but he'll try to win the fight now with the hill and with armor. And turns that around wonderfully. And Cosmonaut now has to bring the rest of his army back, Micro in a couple of different places, bring reinforcements over. Just reminded you of Polish notation. Haven't thought about that. Yeah, reverse Polish notation. That's like you have to build the farms away from the Folvark to get a bonus. And okay, Thunderbolt, walking forward without patrolling, runs his crossbows into the other crossbows on the hill. And Mangonel for Cosmonaut, what type of shot will he get? Along with a lot of crossbows, this could be a good fight for him. Nice split for Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt with skirms still picking off some of those crossbows. Not going to take out the Mangonel, but could still kill quite a few crossbows. The Mangonel still hasn't gotten a hit. And very well microed from Thunderbolt. Gets away from the Mangonel, picks off another crossbow. Ballistics. Ballistics versus no ballistics was great. First you assign the villager, then you build the farm, then you build the villager. There's actually no operator precedence in the map script arithmetic. Everything is strictly from left to right. So you don't do multiplication and division bound more tightly to the operators than addition and subtraction. It's everything from left to right, which is kind of fun. You can write expressions with very few parentheses in some cases. In other cases, you just are... There's also no parentheses. You can't write parentheses in the map scripts. I legit have no idea how it was written like that. Like a simple interpreter is what I have my second semester CS students write. But it is kind of fun still, right, using it. So Bloodlines for Thunderbolt. And a workshop up for Thunderbolt too. Ooh, and the skirms have to dodge Mangonels. All the skirms being hit by crossbows. And it'll now be a Cav Archer switch for Thunderbolt. Huns are Huns. Thunderbolt's up by 20 eco units. He's got a few fishing ships left over. He's doing his own Mangonel defense and trying to amass Cav Archers. Now, the Lithuanians, I feel, have a weakness to Cav Archers in some situations. But they still have good skirmishers. And the question is, can the Huns deal with skirmishers? And if they can't deal with crossbows with a Mangonel, skirmishers could be a problem. How close is the scripting language to Scheme Lisp? So the map scripts are not a scripting language, they're a configuration file. It is much closer to HTML. It's basically HTML without JavaScript. I think that's the best comparison I have. The AI files have a lot of parentheses, so on the surface level they look like Lisp. And if you set your syntax highlighter to Lisp, you'll mostly get good syntax highlighting, but that's as close as you actually get. It's very, very different. So Cav Archers get under the tower here for Thunderbolt. We'll kill a few Vills from Cosmonaut, and Thunderbolt has a great eco lead. Also, Twitch is going to play an ad in 1 minute, and I don't have any snoozes left. So, hopefully it's just a 30-second ad. Apologies for that. Can't stop that. So crossbows kill the cav archers, and now make a beeline straight for the woodline at the back of Thunderbolt's base. Cosmonaut could have a big raid here, but he still doesn't have ballistics. Oh, this is so painful. So many Vills are gonna die here. Thunderbolts. Oh, you had such a huge Vill lead. And now you're losing everything. Absolutely everything. Oh no. Gabby looking at this woodline. And probably absolutely distraught right now at Thunderbolt, who had such a nice lead. Well, might find a way to throw it. He has another TC in the south, but now it's only a 7 Vill difference. As Vill's out on the dock for Thunderbolt, we'll take the shorefish. And they will have wheelbarrow, padded archer armor, and elite skirm all on the way. Yeah, Twitch, a 30-second ad. You could just wait for between the games, Twitch, and I'll play a longer ad, but no, you gotta do your 30-second ad right here. So Vill's attack, take the zebra. And crossbows hit and kill the crocodile. So crossbows for Cosmonaut in the south. Oh my gosh, a demo from the dock for Thunderbolt. And Cosmonaut will probably have to dance a bit against the cav archers, so Thunderbolt knows that demo's there. Oh, use the demo, use the demo. There's a nice crossbow fight here, but I'm really looking for a demo. As the crossbow numbers dwindle. Oh, here come 2 mangonels too, here come 2 mangonels. Ooh, can they get a good mangonel shot? That was a nice cav archer fight. As Thunderbolt tries to retake a bit of that score lead he had lost. And now he's gotten, with all the extra TCs he has, 4 TCs, he's recovered that Vill change. Remember it was 62 to 69? Well, now it's 75 to 91. And all of a sudden he's right back in it with the Vill count and the eco lead and the res collected lead. So this is looking pretty good for him. In all likelihood, then 2-1 for Cosmonaut. The result where he really wanted a sweep to be safe. And that still is then an opportunity if Monos goes 2-1 over Husiel, which is certainly possible, and Gabby sweeps Lammo, which is maybe the most likely result based on the standings, that Gabby could still win the group outright. And okay, mangonels. What type of shot will we have as Thunderbolt clicks up to Imp? Mangonels, no one paying attention. There's a split. One of the groups kind of hit. Oh, the Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut noticed just in time, and he'll take out both mangonels. He'll get both mangonels. Down it goes. Another TC in the back for Thunderbolt. Has a few crossbows from down. That farm maybe needs to be deleted. Crossbow's not picking the farm foundations. They're chased by a mangonel. Could get a Vill. But Cosmonaut now also booming himself, 92 to 95. And he wants a forward castle. He wants a forward castle. There are a few cav archers there, but elite skirms. And I don't think that castle can be denied. 18 Vills. Army in the back might be picked off, but how the heck did Cosmonaut just close that Vill difference? I think Thunderbolt must have idled TCs to try to click Imp. The Cav Archer discount, Huns won't have the most expensive Imp, but they'll need to win a Treb fight now. And Cosmonaut will be clicking Imp pretty soon too. So abandoning that TC foundation is Thunderbolt. We'll go towards Stone in the back, do his own castle on a hill, and he should have a safe area from which to Treb. The hill will be annoying though. I don't know if he can really get Trebs atop a hill. Maybe over here. If that hill's high enough, he might even be able to get a hill advantage. There's Thunderbolt up to Imp. There's another castle from Cosmonaut. TC's deleted. And where are the Trebs? The Trebs are popping. Part of me would have loved to have seen Harkins rush down a castle. You research Marauders. They crossed out Dave on the UI in Capture Age. Rush that down with Tarkins. But Treb's probably the safer approach. The Lithuanians will have Bombard Cannon. And still, they have great skirms in the late game. And then as good as heavy cav archers are for the Huns, and useful against the Lechai and heavy cav of the Lithuanians, the skirms will be scary, and dealing with skirms will be the difficult part. So a Civ matchup where probably all things considered late imp, I'm favoring the Lithuanians. But Thunderbolt will have to take advantage of that extra resource res collected. The lead he has already. There you go, that's the word. The lead he's established. And hello, Johan. Just in time for a Huns game. So there's Imp for Cosmonaut. And where are the Trebs? Also, random bonus you might not realize the Huns have. Trebuchets fire more accurately at units and small targets. And a Treb versus Treb fight actually is easier for the Huns. Mangonel... Oh, nice hit on the skirms there, along with the castle fire. And Cosmonaut trying to repair the forward castle. You Lechai popping out. This is where Cav Archer's now with Bracer. Also need Chemistry, maybe even Heavy Cav Archer. To protect the Trebs. Usually you think about doing Bracer, Chemistry, and Parthian Tactics, even the armor, all before Heavy Cav Archer. You simply get a better return on the investment in terms of the stats that they give you. But here, instead of armor, you might even consider HCA, because your goal is to protect your Trebs from the Lechai. And getting the extra attack from Heavy Cav Archer is probably better than Parthian Tactics. Parthian gives you more attack against the spear line, but you're not fighting the spear line here. It also gives you Pierce armor, so not only are the Lechai melee units, but they're melee units that ignore armor. In the back? What is that? Oh, that's a crossbow. Crossbow hidden behind the TC graphics, shooting at the Cav Archers. They go down. Heavy camel before or after? That's I think depends a bit because the timing of the upgrades take a while. Heavy camel's a really long upgrade. So if you want all of them to come in at the same time, you need to do heavy camel first. But otherwise, you almost always want to click the armor upgrade for cav units because of the pierce armor. +2 pierce armor is very important. And that was an attempted castle from Thunderbolt. But now he's fighting Lechai, and he didn't have enough Cav Archers for the fight. He won the Treb fight against one castle, but now Cosmonaut's pushing back. That castle foundation might need to be deleted. And this is where the Huns... Yeah, if they get heavy Cav Archers, they can fight the Lechai, but can they fight Lechai plus skirmishers? Lots of Thunderbolt's eco is being idled now. He's got Chemistry and Plate Barding Armor on the way. He'll make another attempt at that castle. He'll try to get Hussars to raid the eco. Still has a 6,000 resources collected lead. He'll get a bit more map control at the castle. Maybe the castle needed to be in the back, though. It might have needed to be more defensive to protect himself from raids, as the Lechai and skirms will push forward. Didn't manage to wall himself. Imagine having a good set of walls here that would have stopped the raid. Stone walls could have been nice. And also your question about the camels. Usually the attack upgrades for camels don't matter as much if you're fighting Cav because you're worried about the attack bonuses, and the heavy camel upgrade is for the bonus. So for heavy camels, I think usually you're thinking armor, heavy camel, attack in that order. But if you're fighting something that's not cav, then you could consider prioritizing attack, but then you might not be prioritizing camels in the first place. So TC in the north looks like Thunderbolt wants to control the Gold Island. Wants to control the Gold Island. And a castle in the south from all those villas, also a mining camp. And all the skirms go down. Trebs attack the castle in the south and the middle. And some skirms will be picked off by hussars. And there is forging on the way for Cosmonaut. And that castle will be Trebed. We'll have Lithuanian cav archers. Okay. How do they compare? They'll miss Parthian. Huns miss the final armor upgrade, so in a direct fight, the cav archers will be even. Thunderbolt pushing the next castle. And that castle actually means no more Latus production. So no more Latus means that very powerful Lithuanian unit, the HP to kind of fight under castles and cav archers a bit to snipe Trebs won't be there anymore. It also has a castle in the south, actually playing the north and the south together. So often in this map, players forget about the south. But now he has all the stone and the gold you could possibly want down here. Originally, this map only had stone in the south and gold in the north, but then we added gold to the south because no one actually went to the south. Now, Thunderbolt has every position on the map, and he can spam gold units. Cosmonaut taking Thunderbolt's forward gold, that won't last much longer, and he now is forced to a position where he's worried about his gold, and I don't think he has any gold access anymore. So yeah, it's going to be no gold access for Cosmonaut. You can spam winged hussars, halbs, and skirms. Halbs and skirms will move faster, so good trash. But he'll be against the Huns with heavy cav archers, and potentially he could go Tarkin or a Paladin for heavy cav if he has all the gold as an addition to the hussars. And I think Thunderbolt is going to run over everything that remains in Cosmonaut's base. And that'll open up a chance for Gabby to finish first or second in the group, depending on the other sets. Trebs attacking the stable, as Blast Furnace will be on the way for Thunderbolt. Going for the stable. And there is the castle. There's the castle. Attacking Vills. Trebs go for the outpost. And light cav archers still hoovering around. Trying to get to the south, where there's that TC for Thunderbolt. All the villas mining everything here. Gonna move over to take the stone. I'll have another castle for Thunderbolt in the middle. He is securing this. I don't think there's a way he loses this now. His castle is on the gold, and this castle will protect the other remaining gold. So there's no gold left accessible for Cosmonaut. Maybe this is crazy, but what if Cosmonaut did a couple of sneak docks to try to get back on the water and take the gold on the island? Still have only feudal ships for Thunderbolt. That feels like the only way he's going to get gold. The new Howler Monkey Rock? I have not looked at that, Bevercakes. I'll have to take a look at it. I have a video I'm going to watch from Zetnus where he looked at all the new DLC stuff. I've not had a chance yet. So, Winged Hussars taking out the Trebs. Yeah, also, apparently, they're in the new DLC, warning that they added in-game voice chat and turned it on by default. So if you didn't realize that, there's no indicator. If you didn't realize that, and you don't go turn it off, your chat and your microphone will now be broadcast into the game. DE. They never fail to disappoint. Oh my gosh. They never fail to disappoint. Yeah, imagine you don't know and the opponent can just hear you talking to yourself about your strategy. I mean, imagine you don't know and then you have, I don't know, you have an argument with someone in the background while you're playing and they hear all your private information. Imagine random teams on Black Forest when someone doesn't wall. Voice chat salt. Oh my gosh, of all the features they could have done to improve the multiplayer experience, of keeping you in your party so you don't need to requeue, and they add voice chat. It's not like it's a bad thing, but it should be on by, it should not be on by default without any type of indication that it's on. And it's, from what I've seen, also very limited. It doesn't have a push-to-talk option. It doesn't have an easy way to toggle being on versus being muted. You can't mute yourself and, like, still listen to other people. It is not even a minimal implementation of a voice chat system. They did, like, the worst possible thing they could have. Old school Xbox 360 lobbies. So Cosmonot's doing what he can to hold on, but it's the ACCM 5K score lead for Thunderbolt, who has all of the gold, and is continuing to pump out heavy cav archers against trash units. Yeah, Gabby can? I mean, she could still claim first. I don't know the results of Mono's set. And then Elite Tarkin. Elite Tarkin will have a gold unit from Thunderbolt. Hasn't managed to wall himself fully yet. Would love to get those walls up and stop the Hussar raids. Cosmonot's still holding on. As best he can. Cosmonaut really wants the sweep for the chance of getting first. He gets the sweep, and then a 2-1 victory from Husiel means that Cosmonaut wins the tiebreaker. So this is a big, important game for Cosmonaut. But I don't think there's anything at this point that he can do, as the heavy cav archers are slaughtering the winged hussars before they leave the stables even at this point. Yeah, holy castles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 castles for Thunderbolt. Maybe he needs more of those castles in his base to stop the hussar raids. Maybe he needs to finish the stone wall to stop the hussar raids, but finally Cosmonaut calls the GG. Thunderbolt will win. And looking at the stats, military 490 to 367 KD for Thunderbolt. Eco, much better for Thunderbolt. Everything worked out, held on since winning the water early on. And now Cosmonaut, I think, still safe to be top 3. But this does open up opportunities for Gabby, which now we finally will get to cast her set. So I'll let the timer drop down a bit before going for that one. So maps, that'll be a win, or no, actually a loss for Cosmonaut on High Tides. Both players won their home maps. That'll be Lithuanians losing to Huns. Maybe the Huns can make a comeback. I've missed the Huns. Earth is flat. In AoE2 it is. So that'll be a 2-1 win for Cosmonaut. He will then finish with 10 points. Gabby with 8 with a sweep finishes ahead of him. So this will be Gabby against Lamo. Our next set. What's happening to Franks? Nobody's picking or banning Franks. Franks just... they've never really been a good civ. There was a point when DE first came out where I think a lot of, like... they were easy to play, so a lot of low-level people picked them on the ladder. But among the pro levels, there's never really been much gameplay from Franks. Researched atheism. It's useful now. Earth is a castle. That would be interesting. A castle we'd all live in. So is this page updated? Nope, the page isn't updated yet. No standings are updated. But Gabby with a sweep and a mono's victory would win the group. Alright, we have drafts. We'll wait for Rex. Atheism makes a noise for the opponent. Yeah, it does. Atheism is the new 105. Alright, Wikipedia has been updated. It has been updated. So now we indeed have Cosmonaut. First place with 10 points. He's finished. He's played... This doesn't reflect it, but he's played all of his games. He's finished 4-1. He will have a tiebreaker against Gabby due to set wins, and then also due to head-to-head, but set wins matter. If Husiel finishes 1-2 against Monos, then he loses the tiebreaker to Cosmonaut. If he finishes 2-1, he has 11 points, and he is ahead of Cosmonaut. If Gabby gets a sweep, she has 11 points. With 11 points, then she beats Cosmonaut, and she would lose a tiebreaker to Husiel. If Husiel gets 11, he has to have the set wins, and he also has the head-to-head against Gabby. If Husiel loses 1-2, and Gabby gets 2 wins, then they both are 3-1 in sets. They're tied in points, and she still loses the head-to-head tiebreaker, the third tiebreaker. So Gabby really needs a sweep here. He really needs a sweep, and then monos either to sweep or go 1 and 2, or go 2 and 1. She needs monos to be 2CL, which it definitely is possible. Definitely is possible. I think that should be a pretty good matchup between the two of them. But Gabby needs a sweep against Lammo. That's who is last in the group. That's what she will be aiming for. Alright, looks like they might take a minute before uploading the Rex, so I'm just gonna run to the bathroom myself. Then hopefully I'll be back in time and we'll get this set started. Alright, so just waiting for Petito to post the Rex. So whenever T90's done yapping, we'll get the Rex. So he's on his BRB screen. Yeah, so this will probably be the final thing I cast today. Don't think maybe later tonight I'll be back and play the DLC, but I think I want to do some maps, get some map drafts ready. Oh, is that a turtle emote and a ship emote? Yes, turtles all the way down. Turtles all the way down. What are those emotes? YouTube doesn't tell me what the emote is if I hover over it like Twitch does. I get to be confused. So turtles and elephants, the foundation of the universe. Turtles make sense. Can't say no to a good turtle. Oh, I just got news. Oh my gosh, look at this. Last Chieftains is available now. Voice chat. For more information on configuring the settings, please check out our support. What? Oh my gosh, now would be a great time to update your Age Insider profiles. You can't even put, like, an in-game thing? Yeah, and let me just to demonstrate how absolutely ridiculous this is. I still have my display capture on? How do I still have that on? How absolutely ridiculous this is. How do I turn off voice chat? The first question. You uncheck that button. Also, what the game absolutely needed, AI text-to-speech. What the... AI text-to-speech. Automatically transcribe what a player is saying through their mic into the in-game text chat for other players to see. Or a speech text... Wait, what? Yeah, there's text-to-speech and speech-to-text. Which, okay. If it works, that's a good idea, but holy crap, this is off. Immediately turn this off. Oh, no. How many Bluetooth headset drivers does it take to turn off a voice chat? I don't know. Okay, we have the Rex now. We have the Rex. They're in the folder. If only AoE 2 DE would show people that I'm streaming when they try to invite me to games. If only. Alright. Failed to load save file. Why did I fail to load this file? Okay, let's try this one more time. Maybe just because I didn't unzip them properly. I just gotta make sure you unzip your Rex properly. And still says Cosmonaut Thunderbolt. Thanks, DE. I reload this in Capture Age. Game 1. Is Game 1 High Tides? Yes, it is. Hope this works. Yes, it is. I think I just took them out of the zip file incorrectly. So here we are, same map, same everything, and we are good to go. So here we are on High Tides. Lammo at the last place in the group, he's 1-11. Gabby needs a sweep to finish ahead of Cosmonaut. And a sweep gives her the best chance to finish also ahead of Husiel. Still a chance that she can finish first in the group, but a sweep would go a long way towards that. She would then need monos to go at least 2-1 against Husiel in their set of games. So she'll be to the west as the Red Lithuanians, Lammo to the east as the Blue Mongols. And the Mongols, with their hunt bonus, are pretty darn sick on this map, with the elephants 400 food each. Is Lithuanians any good? Lithuanians are great for hybrid maps. Why? Because they start with an extra 100 food, and you can chop wood, go for an early lumber camp, and get a super early dock. Or you could even think about an early barracks for a drush. There are lots of different ways you can use that bonus for a hybrid map. And should keep them competitive with the Mongols early on, and all the Mongols' bonuses involving their hunt. Lithuanians, one of the most highly picked hybrid map civs. Maybe a somewhat similar unit composition where the Mongols go Mangudai Hussars to the Huns going CA Hussar. But whatever the composition, your eco really makes any composition look good if you're ahead by enough resources. So Loom for Lammo, as he will do Loom before sending a Vil to dock, as he pushes in the rest of the zebras. Oh, is he actually Huns? No, no, no. Hold on. Sorry. I need to update this. Sorry. Wrong thing about overlay. He is actually the Mongols. Extra button I need to press. Still on my side, I need to make a better UI for myself. Making progress, but I'm not done yet. Screaming Cheese take Jimmy's to the AI while losing in game. And we'll have docks for Gabby and for Lammo at just about the same time. Combine their names slightly, but at just about the same time they'll have the docks up. And both with Loom, and both sending their scouts back. So very similar openings so far. Gabby will go out to wood, and oh, will she go for the double push? Is this a double push? Ooh, this might be... Oh, no. Oh, wow, that zebra walked back rather quickly. Just be a single push, then, of the ostrich. And the ostrich will be... Oh, back and forth a couple of times. She's just waiting to get it under the TC properly as she's chopping the straggler. So fishing ships, 2 for each player. Lithuanian skirms will move faster. Gabby has gold in the back of her base. Can wall up using the berries, and the back gold, if she doesn't take the main gold, go straight down from here to the corner, or even from here to the edge. This is probably the easier wall. Go straight to the corner and be very, very safe. The one thing I wouldn't do is use the gold as part of the wall. But our Mongols player up faster, 2 fishing ships to 3. And Gabby, a bit of a longer Dark Age, and she will be lamed, actually. On the front, we'll lose 2 goats. Didn't manage to scout them. But more concerned about pushing the zebras, and the goats may be less important with the fish eco. That will hurt her in the long run in feudal if she has to go for farms faster. These speed wrap cheat codes now. And yeah, she is using the gold as part of the wall. That's rough. That means Lammo could hit the back of this. It is a far way away for him to get to, though. So I don't know how realistic that is. It's still a possibility. This could be disrupted by archers if she does the mining camp. Wall just a bit farther forward, and I think she has an easier time mining and getting more vills on the gold with a closer mining camp, too. So 50-second difference in uptiming, 20 to 18 villagers, as we'll have 3 militia into men-at-arms for Lammo, up faster. He'll only have 1 dock, but he's ready to start pumping out fire galleys. Let's see if Gabby tries to go for a second dock. Looks like she's looking to wall in Lammo's Vil. No HP lost on either Vil so far. Where's she going for the dock? It's going to be a forward dock? Oh, she has the scout, too. Could together attack a wall. Ooh, the other one was a bit lower on HP. Had she gone for the other wall, she would have gotten in. Oh, that was so close. Well, Lammo walls. And now Gabby can start doing her own defensive fire galleys. But that man-at-arms upgrade is just about finished. And she'll have to wall to keep them out. Prepare the house a bit. Mongols do have the option for arson. Who is the favorite? Gabby's definitely the favorite. But also she's in a position where she needs to win 3-0. And an archery range on the way for her. You think the Mongols are that good on this map? I don't know about that. There's some archers from her range. Good score lead from the res collected so far. Well, she's kept her fishing ships working. Has the fishing ship advantage. And now the eco bonus for the Mongols is gone. The next stage of scary Mongol menace would be steppe lancers. And that archer popping out the wrong side of the range. And she has to spend 2 vills worth of time repairing that house against the very dangerous men-at-arms. They'll go into the back for resources, looking for a second dock. I'd have to run her fishing ship slightly. The blocks with them could probably still win the fight. Looks like she will win the fight. Force those fires back to the repairville. And looks like, ooh, risky picking vills with the scout. Lamo doesn't pay attention for a second, but Gabby, you're not going to get anything. Lumber camp also for Gabby. As the men-at-arms and archers still trying to break in. Blacksmith for Gabby. Has to be careful. Might lose 1 archer. And that archer goes down for nothing. On water, she's found more fish. Demo ship trying to get in on the fishing action too. And we're fletching from both players. The archers would like to break in. Take down an archer in the middle. And the fire galleys in the middle will push out. And take down a few fire galleys more. Down they go. Oh, there's a demo. Nice demo. Or not. Oh, okay. Would have been better at the start. And a fire galley will help the Vil win this Vil fight. Ooh, not with the house in the way. Slight lead for Lamosville. And the men-at-arms the entire time have been attacking Gabby at home. They have never thought to go to the dock. If Lammo ever does go to the dock, he could pick off Gabby's repairville. Looks like Gabby will win that fight. And res collected still even. So far so good for Gabby, as she's a 3 eco unit lead, 5 fishing ships. Even though it is a 2 vil lead in actual villager count for Lammo. She'll re-wall herself and maybe think about doing a mill on the berries soon. We'll need the mill for the market. But Castle Age first for Lammo. Gabby will take the score lead as he uses the market, sells 200 stone, 200 wood, and clicks up. And that means it'll be Steppe Lancer time for the Mongols. Let's see. Well, no stable yet. Could just be lots of elite scar, but 10 vils on gold feels like it's going to be the market buying Steppe Lancers now. Idle TC for Gabby is rough. And she's won the water, but hasn't really been fishing the whole time. Just adding more fish now. And Lammo's been disruptive enough there to give himself a good Castle Age timing advantage. And Gabby's invested more into the water. 4 fire galleys remaining. And that'll slow down the Castle Age timing. The trick is to win the water with as little investment as possible. And Lammo also in the south taking the hunt. Taking the hunt with that Mongols bonus. Maybe could lose Vils here. Gabby has a good raid. Doesn't have armor on her archers yet and still is a long ways away from the Castle Age. And she'll be picking off men-at-arms. Bloodlines and scale parting armor for Lammo. And there's Lamo up to the next stage. Yeah, someone actually using the Southern River? Gabby gonna dock this? Will that dock be spotted by the skirms? Yes, it will be. And that will likely be denied. Likely denied. Bloodlines and armor as, yep, double stable step lancers. Gabby will do what she can to attack with her remaining feudal army. I think she needs to be fully walled in, though, against the step lancers. And has to be wary also of the overchop. Double range archers. Now she still has all the fish in the north, but the fishing ships, some of them going to shorefish. There aren't too many fish on this map. And the Vil running away from the skirms. Skirms pick the Vil. The elite skirm, Gabby clicks up. Scores are still really close. She has 700 more res collected. But we'll need to hold off step lancers. I'm so worried about her not having finished the walls. We'll do a stable, do knights, but won't have relics at the start. Map control now for Lammo, who can think about doing a monastery and grabbing the relics, denying them from the Lithuanian player. Already has that palisade shift queued. I don't like that she's relying on the TC as a wall. I think she needs to be fully walled. There aren't enough Vils garrisoned the TC. Oh, will this work? Oh, that is such a huge risk for her. Scale barding armor. As well as stuff all the archers in the TC. Well, if she does that, then she can't put the Vils in. You kind of want the Vils in as a priority. Double stables. Double stables that so far Lammo hasn't scouted. And I guess the only thing she really can do is double stable knights. With her build so far. I don't think this needs to happen, though. I think she could be walled. She could be walled. The archers keeping this out. They're going to run through the TC. And Lammo taking a big risk running through the TC. We got 25 seconds till Gabby's up. These step lancers have one of their blacksmith armor upgrades. That's 1+1 armor. The archers have 5 attack. And the elite skirms will chase the archers, and that'll open up room for the step lancers to get in on the gold. That's not a fight she wants to take with the archers. There's bloodlines, and she's gonna pull Vils off the wood line to fight the step lancers. Oh, that is ugly. That's ugly. I think she really needed to be fully walled. TC is not the thing to rely on against Cav. All the archers are dead, and she has one stable knight production with a panic monastery. Vil count still 42 to 42. The Mongol step lancers have a lot of HP, and you're fighting step lancers with Vils, that can't be good. Skirm is being killed by the knight. Another knight out. That's now a massacre on the woodline, 15 to 6 eco KD in favor of Lammo, who's up 44 to 37 Vils, and we'll start closing that res collected difference now. I think she's in a lot of trouble. Still has the water, which is good for her, but I don't think the fishing will make up for all the Vils she just lost. Monk trying to get a conversion on step lancers. Knights will chase some skirms. And step lancers will push the knights back. So 22 to 12 military for Lammo. Husbandry for him. And does he keep pumping Step Lancers? This is maybe an opportunity for him to boom. Neither player has any stone left. Let's see, Gabby had to... Did she sell her stone too? Yeah, she sold stone earlier. If they get that far, right? I mean, Mongols used... In the old days, in AOC, the Mongols didn't have a good castle age. Now they have Step Lancers with extra HP, so they actually have an excellent castle age. It's one of those things where they shoved new content into the old civs, and there wasn't a corresponding nerf. So it's kind of like those and Fire Lancer civs. Mongols now have Step Lancers and extra HP. And he'll pick off more vills. 22 to 6 KD for Lammo. As he is pulling really far ahead in this game. In the south, some knights trying to raid Lammo's vills. That unfinished dock's still down there for Gabby. Vills getting killed by knights. Oh, that's rough. Monks come forward for conversions. Knights have to run away. TC will go up for Lamo. Skirms try to hit the monk. House gets deleted. And the skirms will keep the Vil away. And monk picked off by the skirms. There is horse collar for Lamo. Ooh, Vil's picked again. 25 Vil kills. Now Gabby, for some revenge, has knights on the wood line. They are not nearly as smooth to micro as Steppies are, but they will get at least 3 villagers. These 3 Vils, Lammo can maybe quick wall. Nope, the knights get away as the monk chases. And now the Mongol player has camels. Now the Mongol camels will be out and about. And Step Lancers, oh, they pick Vils so easily. All the Vils can't fit in the TC. There's not enough garrison space. And the Step Lancers will chase the Vils. Oh, no. Oh, that is a massacre under the TC. 50 to 31. Eco now for Lammo. As the Vils will head out to that house again. Hello, 2 coffees, please. Gabby. Well, she still has hope, but now it relies on... Well, actually, no, she doesn't, because Cosmonaut now will win the tiebreaker, even if she wins 2 to 1. Things might very quickly swap from her rooting for Monos to beat Husiel to rooting for Husiel to beat Monos, so she stays in the playoffs. As those knights get picked off by the Step Lancers. Game is very much not looking good. Very much not at all. She still has 8 knights. And the Step Lancers have been killed a bit, but now, seeing knights, Lammo can go camels. I think maybe a mistake. Lammo still hasn't been picking up the relics. Gabby again trying to finish that dock in the south. Oh my gosh, could the Steppy deny that? There'll be a knight versus Steppy discovery in the north. And okay, the dock does finish, but that Vil should die. Especially with the scout coming over too. Gabby realizing the Vil will die. Just has her fight the Step Lancer for a moment. Get as much HP down off of that as she can. Has more dead Vils than alive. That's true. 39 dead Vils, 35 living Vils. And again, we're seeing a player win the water. And it wasn't worth it. Water wasn't worth it. Monk healing knights. This will probably be a few more dead Vils. I think Gabby still had a shot if she had walled everything at the front with houses and made sure the Step Lancers didn't get in. But letting them get in on the way up was a huge mistake. And if she had a bunch of archers to turn into crossbows, that's one thing. If she could maybe think about having an army, but he's been constantly raided this entire time. Yeah, not sniffing out the market FC, right? And that's of course what the Mongols want to do, get to Steppe Lancers on hybrid maps. Focusing maybe a bit too much on water and not on her own market and timing. Is he not putting more pressure? Well, now she has enough knights, the Steppe Lancers can't really fight that. She does have one relic for an attack bonus. Lithuanian Knights, I think, should win this fight. Going on the hill, Steppies and camels push into the knights. Knights turn to fight. How will this fight be for Gabby? There are camels, there are Steppe Lancers behind the camels. Lancing over the cover of the camels. Is this the final fight? Will Gabby lose her knights here? And will this end the game and her first place hopes? It will. There's the GG. And Lammo takes only his second win of TTL. But it will be an important one, as that will really hurt Gabby's chances in the standings. She would have loved to have gotten a sweep here, but 103 to 63 KD for Lammo, and you can see just how ineffective that feudal army is against the castle army. Well, was not able to take a fight. And between that, 1932 to 2433? Huge difference in castle age timing for how close they were in resources. And feels like a combo over-investing into water plus not being walled enough at home. Oh, that was rough. That was rough, but it's only game 1. She still has a chance at winning the set 2-1. He needs to make sure she's collected and can come back from that. That was the very first picked Civ. For Lamo, too, the Mongols. Still does have Chinese, though. And Gabby's home map is Northern Crossings. Lamo's home map is Slopes. That's what the Mongols can do sometimes. That's what they can do. The sudden Steppe Lancers really get to you. Alright, so let me just... T90's gonna yap, so I'll take a quick break between the games and hold on for him. Don't want to get too far ahead of him. In game 2, Gabby will pick the home map of Lammo and elect to play on Slopes. Third place, second and third are in the playoffs. Second and third are in the playoffs. Fourth remains in silver. Fifth and sixth get relegated. Let me make sure I get the civs correct this time. Vietnamese Chinese on Slopes. So, she went like 6 knights forward instead of defending at home. I mean, she did get a good raid with the knights, but I think the game was kind of over by that point. All right, T90's done his yapping. We will go to. Here we go. So, Gabby needs some redemption after that first game. She'll be the red Vietnamese to the southwest against Lammo as the blue Chinese to the northeast. Immediately, he will do Loom, as the Chinese do. We'll take that goose right under the TC. And we'll see how much idle time he'll have before he's able to queue reveal. And ooh, ever so slightly not able to queue, but 17 seconds idle time. That was smooth. That was a really smooth start to the Dark Age. The Chinese, I don't know why they've had their Dark Age buffed, but they don't need to do houses at the start anymore. Now, might have a bit of idle time before the second Vil, but down to 20 seconds. And that is an insane Dark Age for the Chinese. He's going to lure a Boar in early. Don't know how I feel about that. Usually the Chinese, the advice is leave 7 on sheep there. So manages another Vil without idle time. Maybe this will work. And yeah, if he can take the Boar food with 7 Vils, get off to a super smooth start. And then force drop, 22 seconds. So with a Boar and a Deer now, he should have constant TC production. So 22 seconds. You can get a slightly better Dark Age than that, but that's about as good as you can hope for with the Chinese, as long as he keeps the force drop hockey in use. So Vietnamese, Chinese, we could see some Fire Lancers here. I think I do like the Vietnamese a bit more. They have a good eco too. They're pretty often on this map. But the scary thing will be Chinese eco. Chinese eco will be very scary. Or attacking the Vil. The TC helps hunt the Boar. So a couple of geese pulled down off the hill from Lamo. And we'll have an ibex pushed in from Gabby. And Gabby will immediately go out to the top of the slope. Wall herself at the bottom, mill the top of the slope after pushing in one ibex. We'll push in the second. And risky if she gets attacked up here. But against the Chinese, usually you're not expecting a drush. Usually you're expecting the Chinese player to focus on getting a smooth Dark Age eco. And it's a bit rare that they drush. Not really a drushing or Man-at-Arms civ. Man-at-Arms may be a bit more likely than the drush, since that's the feudal age transition. Scout will push in the ibex. And Vils will take the ibex. Vils out in the lumber camp. And looking at Gabby's map, safe berries, safe gold. She can wall herself and be very safe at home. But she'll have to be careful mid-game losing access to the forward resources. Gold and stone all forward after that secondary gold in the back. The slope where she's taking the shorefish will have a gold on it. Why does that gold only have 3 tiles? Wait, what? What the heck is ALS 15 Slopes TTL 5? Why are they playing... Oh my gosh, they're playing the wrong map. Hold on, let me turn my Capture Age overlay off. How did this happen? They're playing an older version of the map. What the heck? What's my overlay? Let's get the logo off. What the heck is this? This is an older version of Slopes. I fixed this bug. Well, okay. Gabby should have one more tile of gold there. Hold on. How did Gabby and Lammo end up playing that map? It's a copy of an older version of Slopes with bugs I had fixed weeks ago. Alright, well, these are Recs. These aren't live games. These are Recs. Oh my gosh. Playing the wrong map. What even is ALS 15? What is that event? So there's Gabby up to feudal. Oh well, it's a very minor bug. The The bug is that in older versions of the map, the gold and the stone, the two golds always were in the east and the west corners, and the stone was always in the north and the south. So I randomized it, so each player then has the stone and the gold on their side. They can be flipped, and it's independently done for each player. But the first time I did that, I didn't realize that the number of tiles could be different. So when we saw the map early on, we saw that there was a 1 tile difference between the gold and the stone, when it was supposed to be 4 tiles of gold and 3 tiles of stone. So I fixed that, and the numbers are correct. Now it's the east and west ones have 4 tiles, and the north and south have 3. So not a huge difference. It's 1 extra tile of gold for Lammo, 1 extra tile of stone for Gabby. Well, that is weird. Just say it's our base's fault, right? He should have adminned this better. Our base's fault. But I should have looked for the fish trap right at the start too. There's a decaying fish trap you can see. Skirms kill the archers. Scout gets picked off. Pressing charges. Nah, it is just a UI thing that's kind of confusing. We search their maps for TTL 5 and slopes. And the map name does have TTL 5 and slopes in it. Just also another tournament. This is where our base should make them go replay. Not a big deal, though. Not a big deal at all. So, Gabby so far is so good for defending herself. Hasn't lost a Vil against Lammo's attempts to attack at the top of the slopes, going pure Skirm Spear defense. Scout's very low on HP, so she won't need more spears. Lammo farming at home, not going out to the slopes. And he is still slightly ahead in res of the Chinese, but only 200 ahead. Both players have both Bidaxe and Horse Collar. As the Vietnamese, Gabby probably wants to do the cheaper wheelbarrow. No wood and research faster, so she'll probably want to do wheelbarrow before going up. And just has to make sure she doesn't idle her TC. Thinking about pushing forward with the skirms. Well, that is a risk, leaving the top of the slope there, but looks like she did bring the Vils back. Yeah, every single set of all of TTL should be replayed now. Exactly. Exactly. So there's fletching for Gabby and wheelbarrow for Lammo. As a Vil will go do a house. For Chinese being best civ, I remember Vietnamese being the best civ. What is the best civ now? Part of me still says Koreans are the best with their Fire Lancers. But I think about the Chinese eco still, and all about them having the right eco. Vietnamese late game with Imp Skirm, their own Fire Lancers with more HP, and Bombard Cannon access. I think I prefer them to Chinese late game. But the Chinese can still get an eco lead. We saw that Chinese versus Georgians on this map earlier. There's a house going up for Lammo. Spear will pick off the hairs. Ooh, those squeaky hairs. The skirms and archers can come down, get behind the wood line. There's Castle Age for Lammo. And Gabby shouldn't be too far behind. But does want to go up soon. Won't have wheelbarrow. And we'll do a second range. Has the blacksmith already, so once she has the food, she can go up. And advantaging the back gold. And she will look to go up now. Drops off food. And a few seconds of idle time, but we'll be up as soon as she clicks up. There she goes. It's microing a bit on the front, but up to the castle age now. Around a minute behind. It's not too bad. And staying actually with a eco lead over the Chinese. And able to harass the wood lines a bit, pick off some Vils here and there. palisade gate and walls across the front. A couple of archers looking at the top of the other slope. Slaughtered all the hares and didn't even eat them. That's what happens sometimes. Skirms and Archer will come over, find some weak vills by the wood line, and they'll get pushed back. There's Lamo up to the castle age. And forward workshop. Alright, forward workshop. Might be a rocket cart push then. Don't see any fire lancers, but he is trading knights. Looks like it'll be a rocket cart push. And a barracks for Gabby. So, with double barracks, looks like it'll be fire lancers. So, fire lancers against skirms, knights, rocket carts should counter this. She'd been mining that gold on the front. The skirmishers there are feudal skirms without even fletching. So, elite skirm cancelled. And I don't like the odds of this push succeeding if Gabby starts making fire lancers. She'll get another TC added in. And has a res lead, actually has a Vil lead. Lots of idle time from Lamo in the mid-game. And yeah, slaughtered all those hares up there. Making sure Lamo is lamed sufficiently. I could do the same thing over here. But she'll try to get right back to that wood line again. Don't think there will be an overchop. Hills, ooh, actually there could be. That's close to being an overchop. And rocket carts at the front. Gabby now training fire lancers. And fire lancers as a melee unit can rush down rocket carts. And oh, there is a hole, the crossbows are in. And Lammo has to panic at the wood line. That's a lot of weak vills. Oh, this is a juicy raid. Vills all going down there. And a few knights come over to hit the crossbows. And is there an overchop there? Can the crossbows group up? No, there is an overchop, but yeah, the crossbows can group up on the hill now. They have a nice little choke point where they can camp. Don't know if Gabby realizes there's a hole there, but there's a deleted palisade. That's as good as a hole, too. No ballistics yet for her. But that was perfect. Now she's up by 5 vills. And crossbows will not kill the knight. Now they'll probably be picked off. The knights do have +2 armor. But all the knights not attacking together. Wait just a minute. The crossbows will have a hill. The knights will trickle in one by one. There's a spear added in there. This won't be the worst fight for her. She'll get a knight. And also on the front, she's pushing with fire lancers. They'll get through that wall rather quickly. Oh, dodges back into the rocket cart. A bit over eager on the dodge. But the fire lancers, ooh, quick wall just in time. Oh, crossbow somehow dodged that. And town center also for Gabby. And then town watch for Lammo. Rocket cart coming back from Lammo. He's just 1 TC. 1 TC all in. Down by just about 20 vills already. Gabby 3 TC booming. Outpost to make sure she'll see anything that comes forward from the workshop. She already does have town watch. And she'll start heading up the slope. These wood lines are small. They're all being overchopped. This group of crossbows will be found, but she'll take the best fight she can and pick off a couple of the low HP knights in the process. And those crossbows will be surrounded and killed. You remember the save your opponent is destroying you with is the strongest? That's good there. Now she has to be careful with her army movement. Knights will be a bit more mobile and a bit stronger, if more expensive. And she doesn't want to have small groups of units that get picked off. Stable for Gabby. And another range for her too. And deleted gate, deleted palisades. And TC at the back on the wood line. Knights come forward. And now, one more big push. One big push for Lammo. And this feels like this will decide the game. Can he push in with knights and rocket carts and everything he has just right now while Gabby's trying to make that Cav Archer transition, doing Sanctity? But she'll be attacking with her crossbows. Won't be able to do damage with the TC there. I don't think there's time for Lammo to turn around and clean the crossbows. Gabby's going for a 4th TC. So even if she loses that army, probably won't matter. It's all about the defense at home and making sure she has just a bit more time to get production going, up by 3k res. And if she can deal with the rocket carts, then she's fine. So Vietnamese CA. Everyone loves Cav Archers these days. Opponents always have the best civ. Does feel like that, doesn't it? Always they do. Hello, Caterpillar. Heard a Vil go down. Okay, this army in the back. Nice raid. A 32 Vil lead for Gabby. And Lammo will come back to clean the army. Gabby not going to run up the slope. Doesn't want the Knights to have a hill advantage. Cross over and turn back. But that's giving her more time at the front now to come forward with Cav Archers. She'll have to micro in several places at once. That is a good rocket cart barrage. Oh, that's quite a few Cav Archers. Gabby will have to retreat there. Not the cleanest micro from her, and nice attack rounds from Lammo. As crossbows and fire lancers will get by the wood line. And a couple of Vils will go to an archery range to the west. Another TC here in the middle for Lammo. And Elite Skirm on the way for him too. Elite Skirm. Twitch is going to play another ad that I can't dismiss. Probably a 30-second ad. I've noticed that Twitch, if I play a minute 30 ad between the games, it likes to then schedule a 30-second ad. That's the thing. And crossbows cornered now by the Knights. Arbase messaging me about the map bug. And that will be a slaughtered group of crossbows, but I don't think that will matter with Gabby's eco lead right here. She can lose that army. She can lose more army. She's up 106 to 61 Vils. And the Knights will kill all of those crossbows. Now, she'll add in a 5th TC. Going for the Stark playstyle of 5+ TCs. Crossbows are found. Crossbows are found, but she is Cav Archers. She is Cav Archers. 23 to 33 military. Cav Archers will be much better at fighting the Knights. The Vils will be picked off by the Cav Archers. That Vil goes down. Still building an outpost, attacked by the Knights. And the monk wants conversions on the Knights now. These Cav Archers will find the range. They'll be hit by rocket carts. And need to turn away. Skirm attacking the outpost. And we'll have a forward castle from Gabby. Got a rocket cart somewhere. Oh, and a castle from Lammo, but that will not be in time, as Gabby will have her own castle. Monks from Gabby want conversions. A few skirms added in. The Vils will take some damage from the Cav Archers before the castle goes up. Rat and Archer is now an option for her. Petard's also an option. She could go for Petards to hit the castle before it even goes up. Maybe one could sneak in. But those knights went too far forward under the TC. Gabby, 80%. I think if she sent the Cav Archers, she might have been able to deny that. Well, she'll play it safe, doesn't want to lose then. TC's 6 and 7. 7 TC's the perfect number. Gotta love a good 7 TC boom. Both castles are up. I'm going to see how long of an ad Twitch plays. I think it'll be 30 seconds. So I'll just pique my curiosity here. Again, apologies, and you can always watch on YouTube if you don't want the ad. Our archery range is up, and yeah, 30 seconds. We'll also have to abandon that range. It will be leather archer armor for Lammo. Cav Archers try to dodge the skirms. 27, why not? 8. 7's the perfect number. 7's the perfect number. 8 is a bit overkill. I like how she's adding TCs when she's already at 146 Vils. It's not going to be for Vil production. It'll simply be for spots to garrison. This is a 1 Vil TC, too. Spots to garrison and get a bit of map control. It'll also repair that mangonel, and the mangonel, while being repaired, will try to hit skirms. At least it'll force the skirms to micro back and forth a bit. Trying to get a shot off. She would love to hit the skirms, but Lammo's microing. Microing pretty well with them. She'll just fall back to the castle. So Imp will be in a moment. She has double the Vil population. 148 to 77. And Mangonel's picked off. Oh, that'll be a TC from Lammo, but no, Gabby already has her 7th TC up and running over here. She can garrison 1 Vil and try to shoot that down. Oh my gosh. That's 18 Vils, all going to find there's a TC here already. If we have the bug where the foundation appears and Gabby can one-hit it with a Vil, that would be crazy. But the foundation cannot be started. It overlaps Gabby's TC. And she'll get another Vil. And there will be the TC from Lammo, and he will build the TC and try to douche. We'll have an Imperial Age versus Castle Age TC. Oh, do Bracer and Chemistry might actually matter quite a bit there. Gabby could send more Vils in garrison. Yeah, so in the Castle Age, it'll only be 7 Pierce Armor for the TC. When Gabby gets Imp, she'll be able to do Bracer and Chemistry for 9 attack and do 2 damage. The TC? Actually, there's some hidden bonus damage, too. That capture age probably doesn't show. Yeah, there she's up now. The extra Pierce Armor. 8 Pierce Armor and Imp. And she can train more Vils and put them inside the TC. Leather Archer Armor first. Interesting she's going for the armor. But I guess that's the Castle Age tech. And for the Cav Archers. And the Rattans. And still looking for a juicy Mangonel hit on the skirms. It's a decent one there. I think the skirms all die. As we'll have Imperial Age for Lammo as Gabby's making the swap to Rattan Archers. And repairing her TC a bit. There's Bracer and Chemistry. And then she should win the TC fight easily. 161 Vils to 83. Really using that 7 TC boom. I guess down to 6 now. She lost one. But she's pumping out the Trebs. Needs to defend the Treb against the Knight, but with Bracer, Chemistry, and Ballistics should be easy. As a forward Vil from Lammo, looks like one of those messed up TC gather points. Trebs attacking the castle. There's Elite Rattan Archer and Chemistry both clicked. Tan's hit by the skirms. Scarab's killing cav archers.
何种命令？喂，准备就绪。喂，
And there's a GG. Also, castle to the east. Castle to the east. So there's a GG. Gabby will tie that 1-1. But she really wanted a sweep here. So that's 1-1. And still she'll look for a 2-1 victory. 119-95 for Lammo. As far as eco is concerned. 15k res collected lead. And that'll lead us into game number 3. Let's see, Twitch did just play an ad, so maybe I won't have to play one during the games, during the break. Yeah, I don't like that ad it just played. It actually stopped me from playing a longer one. Okay. It'll take 12 hours from now. Alright. So I got a message from someone on Capture Age about getting a version from that'll use the old tech tree. Hopefully that's possible. So that's loss for Lamo on his home map. Lost with the Chinese against the Vietnamese. And I guess this is Koreans against... Well, any of those civs. Portuguese, Vikings, and Byzantines all would work. Oh boy, apparently there's a new bug with the DLC pathing. I'll check that out. Alright, let me just double check something. I just had someone from Capture Age message me about stuff. Oh wait, did T90... Wait, why is T90 at the start of the previous game? I'm watching his set, and he's at the start of the previous game. Is he, like, redoing it? What is T9? Oh, wait, no, never mind. Oh, I just rewound. Okay, Twitch did the rewinding thing. Silly Twitch. All right. Technology. Why is this so hard? Technology shouldn't be this hard, chat. This is why I used to teach computer science, so that stuff like this should work. Alright. Here we go. Final game, Game 3 on Northern Crossings. We'll have Lammo as the Blue Vikings to the northwest against Gabby as the Red Koreans to the southeast. Rewatch it again, more AoE. We've already casted one set twice. We're not casting another set twice, okay? We've made that mistake once. Anyway, Northern Crossing, so just like Northern Isles, but there are shallows here. One tile of rock terrain behind the coast, so you can't wall the coast fully, but you could, if you really wanted to, wall off the shallows. Just have to go at least a tile of beach beyond the end of the shallows. On the beach terrain, you can build single tile walls, and you can dock. In the middle is an island with bears, gold, stone, and a relic. Each player island has one relic on each side, and then they'll have their extra secondary golds and stones split up on both halves of the island, with the main gold at the back by the TC. And a couple of golds and stones split up here too, as Gabby will try to get at least a 2-1 win over Lammo. I'm sure she really wanted that sweep, but a bit of a disaster in the first game, winning the water but then losing to the Mongol Steppe Lancers. Mongol Steppe Lancers are hard to deal with. It's a huge change to the Civ, giving them an early Castle Age power spike that was always absent from them, with how good they are in the early game and in the late game. Get a bit of water there. Stay hydrated. Yeah, this is the Pokeball map. Oh, Pokeball, I thought that was Quarry. I guess we have 2 Pokeball maps, kind of. I guess with the way AoE 2 generates maps, it's kind of easy to come up with Pokeball designs. Bills will shoot the Ibex. I'll have another dock in the back for Lammo, as another Ibex will be pushed in here. And Boar taken by the Vills, back by the TC. And this transport ship for Gabby is scouting the coast. So now the question is, Vikings, Koreans, how does this matchup work on the water? Personally, I prefer Koreans if it gets to the late game discount stage where they double up both shipwright plus the wood discount. So that's 2 20% discounts and they train their ships 50% faster. The Vikings, however, will of course have longboats. They don't have what is this? What, the missing string 26525. Right? This is combined with the DLC right now. Fire ships not there. The Vikings have demos, but they don't have fires. The Koreans have fires, but they don't have demos. And then it's longboats for Vikings, turtle ships for Koreans. But it is, of course, the very nerfed turtle ships. Gabby will scout the back dock and won't be surprised to find that. She will dock forward. And if she wants to be aggressive on the water, could still try to go for some fires and disrupt the fish forward. Usually the Vikings don't like facing fire ships, fire galleys, because they don't have their own demos and they need to wait until the Castle Age for longboats to have a counter. Well, they don't have their own fire. They have their own demos. They don't have their own fires to fight them back. The fact that we're between patches and the tech tree shows different things. Oh, this is so silly.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, lag 14. They had a bit of a lag spike. And it'll be a 30-second difference now with Lammo up just a bit faster. So, Vikings could go for FC longboats. Looks like it will just be a feudal play here. And Ville's on the transport. Gabby wants to go forward. Faster to transport than to walk across the crossings, of course. And if Lammo's still pushing deer, that'll be awkward for the transport. There's a barracks, and here's another barracks for Gabby. And Lammo up to the feudal age. Good morning, Soxy. How you doing, Soxy? And double bit axe for Lammo. Gabby up to feudal 2. And now up to feudal, she will find that Ville, and at least force her away from the shorefish. A bit too close to the TC to block. Nice early feudal fight. With the forward dock, she now has her own Ville to fight Lammo's scout. And we'll use that Ville to get a bit of distance, get an extra hit if she can. And now she's a spear forward, so her scout should stay alive. There's the barracks and the range, so forward everything from Gabby. Forward dock, forward barracks, forward range. And double bit axe on the way, so getting the wood upgrade behind all this. Immediately, it's a defensive tower, defensive barracks, and defensive range for Lammo. So if she wanted to slow the Viking player down from getting to the castle age and getting longboats, looks like this opening has succeeded in it. New patches here. New patches here, Soxy. Yes, yes, yes. New patches here. I'm making maps for the new patch as soon as this set's done. I think I'm gonna probably... I might show off a quick little boar bug with boars, but then I'm gonna end the stream and then check it out. And ooh, spear pokes the scout. And we'll have a forward house for Gabby's Villes. Tower going up behind this, as the archer will pick the spear, and the skirm will help out killing the spear too. Scout, low HP scout, still forward. That house will probably go down. Lots of new bugs, Soxy. It is actually a really silly bug, and I'm not sure how it got created, but it is a bug nevertheless. Or rather, just a breaking change that doesn't have an announcement that will cause bugs. So fire's attacking the galleys as the galleys have to back up. And there will be a watchtower for Gabby behind the wood line. So the Villes want to build that tower. So that'll be a nice trush. Remember, they who tower second tower best. And, oh, actually one Ville down. She'll have to abandon the tower as the Ville's weak. Destroying the galleys with the fires, though. No demo for the skirms, sadly. And that low HP Ville now should be able to go back and finish the tower as the skirms are... Or will he? Will he? Wait a minute. I thought the skirms were going to be clean for a moment, but they're not. Gabby's got to get more of those skirms forward. They're all very low HP. And she will look for us to have those cheap Korean skirms. We're at Lammo. I'd be tempted to run the Villes and fight the tower. I guess not going to be a Ville fight for him. Town watch. I'd say AI vibe coding. I mean, they did introduce AI text-to-speech. Maybe we can play around with that. Oh yeah, Soxy, there's voice chat. If you want to hop on, we could test out the voice chat. which difficulty setting. This was definitely a mobile unit's AI they used to vibe code with. This was not Barbarian. So skirm defense looks like Lammo's having good defense. Actually, he's ahead in res collected so far. While Viper Tato testing it. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off and never use it. Hopefully. Who knows though, with Discord rolling out the age verification thing. Which seems like a huge privacy red flag. Maybe video game voice chat becomes the place we have to resort to. So mark it up for Gabby. And were she to dock the corner, she'd have great fishing. But should be able to buy her way up. Same thing for Lammo, who's close to going up too, rushing up his own market and adding 4 docks. So Gabby's gotten a good score lead, 16 to 8 KD. Res collected pretty similar against the better free-wheelbarrow Vikings eco. And also has forced out a ton of farms, 9 farms from Lammo, 8 farms from Lammo as he deletes that, without horse collar. Gabby's not had to farm herself yet. So if she clicks up, which she has done, buying food, hasn't had to sell anything. And she'll click up in just a moment. And there she goes. So around 20 seconds slower. Not a big difference. But still the scary reality that the Viking player has docked the front and will make long boats. Almost said long bows, long boats. Does Discord want to roll out the age verification they had to implement for the UK globally now? I guess they do. I mean, I thought my thoughts about those AI verifications that they are huge privacy violations. And it's absolutely appalling that they're being used. Yeah, I gotta go back to good old TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
So, Fire Galley attacking the fishing ships. And now Man-at-Arms for Lamo. And Lamo up to the Castle Age. Another dock for Gabby. So, with the Koreans discount, there is an option for her to spam War Galleys and hope that the discounted War Galleys can win against the longboats. And it can work. War Galleys definitely can work against longboats. But longboats have a very quick production time, and Gabby has to wait for the War Galley upgrade before she really can produce them in earnest. The War Galley upgrade, perhaps the most important thing it does, not just unlocking War Galley, but it unlocks a better production time. It'll produce War Galleys faster than Feudal Galleys. Remember having to verify anything? It's going to be rolling out soon. I don't know what the exact state is. But Discord will be having an AI age verification. It's been pretty controversial. It's not for all content. Supposedly it's just for content that's marked as 18 plus, but or 16 plus. Well, I don't know exactly how they classify the content. But you just launched the game. You launched the game when you unlocked achievements. Good job, Soxy. So forward workshop from Gabby. Still up in Vills. No extra TC from her. And she'll be attacking the skirms. Have some docks training longboats for Lammo. As knights are running around his eco, he's trying to get a monk. Gabby will dive the monk with the knights. And the spears will poke down the knights. And this is all about Gabby causing eco damage now, not letting Lammo advantage the free handcart. And she'll surround the docks with her fires. And attack the villagers. That's a lot of longboats, but they do spawn in the middle of the fires. The fires will get some good damage done as the longboats try to run. Got the longboat caught in the back, but does manage to run away. This thing's pretty speedy. Oh, spear is being killed by archers. That'll make the night raids more effective if all the spears go down, especially if the archers can camp the monastery now as knights raid the wood line. Quick gate. And there's a hole around it. Gate not up in time, blocked by the farm. And Lamo will call it as the army's about to hit the eco. So 2-1 win for Gabby in this set. Was that actually enough for her, though? Was that enough? Military 36 to 17 KD. And how you want to play against the Vikings, really. Forward dock, use fires aggressively to attack their early dock. But a 2-1 win was not what she wanted against Lammo, who will have won 2 total games. And we'll go check out the standings really quickly. And what do we have here for Silver League? There we go, page was updated, refresh. So here we are. That will be Gabby with 2 wins. She will tie Cosmonaut with 10 wins, but Cosmonaut will win the tiebreaker. Has 4 sets won, and Gabby has 3 sets won. And then we'll have to wait on the result of Monos versus Husiel. So Gabby has secured herself a spot in the playoffs. She has secured herself a spot in the playoffs. Will not win first overall. Rather, whether she is second or third depends on the results of Monos versus Husiel. But if Monos gets a sweep over Husiel, Monos still could make the playoffs. If he then ties Husiel with 9 wins, they'd both be 3-2 in sets, and Monos would then have the go-ahead for the head-to-head tiebreaker. So Husiel not safe yet. Gabby and Cosmonaut both with 10 wins. Page just got updated, refresh. That was not updated. Lamo, he's though... Two wins for him. He will be relegated, as will Thunderbolt. That is secured. Maybe campaigns were replaced, and because you completed them, you got the achievement? Maybe. Oh, page got updated again. Refresh. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, 1 more set to play. In all likelihood, Gabby will be 3rd heading into the playoffs. Unless Monos sweeps Husiel. That's the only possibility where she finishes 2nd. Page keeps getting updated. Keep refreshing. Alright. Anyway, so... gonna do a very quick checkout of the new patch and show you guys some of the stuff I had found. This will be maybe 5 minutes, just gonna install the DLC. But I'll show you, I told you there was a bug with boars. I'll show you exactly what that is. And it's a very minor thing, but there might be some broken maps because of it. I'll show you, let's just open up I'll turn on my TTL maps, go to the editor. So this is a thing with boars in the old version of the game. If we go to the wild boar... Oh, actually, wait. Never mind. Maybe this was done in a previous version? You used to be able not to place boars adjacent to each other in the editor. So maybe this was already done and I hadn't noticed it. But there was a 1-tile gap where boars wouldn't spawn next to each other. I think this is probably... Is there anything that still has it? Javelina? No. Ah, interesting, interesting. So... This was a change at some point. Do I have to bring out the original game to show this off? Yeah, this is a bug, because in the original game, there was a forced 1-tile gap between the forest and the boar. But without that, boars now can spawn adjacent to forests, and that means if you have forests that ever have like a 1-tile gap somewhere, then boars can spawn there. But yeah, that's what I was looking at. I noticed that was a change in the patch. Well, maybe that had happened earlier and I just hadn't noticed it. It should be infinitely stackable. All right, I'll need to see when that happened. Now I gotta go. Now I need to go open up my original game. Double check that I'm not going insane, which I'm not. Microsoft Games, AoE 2, 1.5. Let's see if OBS will pick this up. All right. Won't have audio for this, but here we go. Oh, I missed this. Go to the boars. Yeah, and you see how they need to have that one tile gap there? Can't place them directly adjacent. Which would have been nice if this change was announced somewhere, but I hadn't seen it. So same thing, if I go to try to place boars near trees, then I can't. They need to have a one tile gap. So if I go to that same situation, let's use the bamboo because it's shorter and easier to see. Can I fit a boar here? I gotta go to Gaia. Oh, boar. Can I fit the boar there? No, it won't spawn there. So, I noticed boars spawning adjacent to resources in the TTL maps, and I had written the maps assuming that this was still the case. But if it's not the case, then I might have some awkward spawns that I wasn't expecting. Not a big deal, and this shouldn't happen often, but might occasionally happen. Yeah, that's a thing. That's what I wanted to show off, because Arbase and I were looking at maps the other day, making sure they worked on the patch. And I noticed that, and I was like, wait a minute, this shouldn't be possible. And it's possible because the boar were changed. Oh my god, now that I changed my resolution, my desktop icons are all out of whack. Oh my god, Windows 11. Is it really that hard not to change the positions of my desktop icons if I change my resolution and change it back? Like, look at this. No, I had them, they were all organized. They're like this. These are mods I need to work on. Backup hotkeys. I'm sure my hotkeys will be broken. Like this. Don't change them just because I launched AoE 2 and it changed the resolution. Anyway, I think that'll be it for me for today. We'll find someone we can raid. Who's streaming right now? Tuning to see Boar Nothing. Yep. So, free range, respect your space. Is anyone streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube? We can raid and do a double raid. Let's see, Viper is streaming. Viper also streaming on YouTube. He is. All right, we're going to double raid Viper. We'll raid him on YouTube and on Twitch. So let me do this. The Viper. All right, we're going to raid Viper on Twitch and on YouTube. So I'll see you all tomorrow for more TTL. What's his name on Twitch? Is it just the Viper? It is just the Viper. All right, see you all tomorrow.